My child, pause everything, yes, even the thoughts racing through your mind, and listen to me with the weight of eternity in your chest. What I am about to reveal to you carries the force of a divine turning point, because what's coming will change everything about you, and you must not miss a single word. You have arrived at a threshold where your past can no longer hold you, your fears can no longer define you, and your old identity can no longer contain who you are becoming. Lean in now, for this is the moment where everything shifts. My child, come closer. Yes, closer than your fears, closer than the noise around you, closer than the thoughts that race in your mind, because I am about to speak to you of what is coming, and what is coming will not simply brush against your life. It will transform you from the inside out in ways you cannot yet imagine. You think you know yourself. You think you understand your limits, your patterns, your weaknesses, your story. But you have only seen a fraction of what I have written over you. I see the parts of you that you try to hide, even from yourself, the questions that echo in the dark, the disappointments you neatly fold away, the dreams you shelved because you convinced yourself it was too late or too much. I have heard the whispers of your heart that never became words on your lips, the prayers you barely dared to think because you were afraid of being disappointed again. Yet here I am, reaching for you again, because I am not intimidated by your doubts, your weariness, or your confusion. I want you to know that what is on its way toward you is not chaos, not punishment, not random fate. It is my deliberate, loving, purposeful movement, and it hath been unfolding long before you even realized something was shifting. I have been working in the hidden places, in the quiet, in the delays, in the closed doors, in the long nights where nothing seemed to change. You thought those were empty moments, but every one of them was a seedbed for what I am now bringing forth. I am not just planning to adjust the scenery of your life. I am going after the very roots inside you that have kept you tied to old versions of yourself. There are beliefs you've carried like chains. I'm not enough. I always mess it up. Nothing truly good lasts for me, and I am getting ready to confront those lies not with harshness, but with such overwhelming truth that they will lose their power over you. I am drawing you into a season where my voice will matter more to you than the voices that once defined your worth. And as I speak, I do not simply speak to inform you. I speak to shape you, to recreate what pain tried to disfigure. Yes, there are changes approaching that you cannot control, but they are held in the hands of the one who loves you more than you love your own comfort. You have asked me to make your life better, but I am doing something far deeper. I am making you new, new in how you see, new in how you respond, new in how you trust, new in how you carry yourself when storms arise. Do not be afraid of this change, even if you feel the ground shifting beneath your feet, because I am not removing your foundation. I am revealing it. I will show you that I have always been the one beneath you, holding you, sustaining you when you thought you were standing alone. So listen closely now, not with the ears of fear, but with the ears of hope. I am about to unfold a chapter where you will begin to understand that nothing in your story has been wasted, and everything that is coming toward you is aimed, not at your destruction, but at the transformation of everything you thought you were into everything I have always known you could be. My child, listen closely, because what you have been feeling deep within your spirit, the stirring you cannot explain, the trembling you try to ignore, the subtle pull that keeps returning, is not your imagination. It is me awakening something inside you that has long been waiting for its appointed time. You have sensed it in quiet moments, when everything is still and you suddenly feel a shift in the atmosphere of your soul, as if something invisible has brushed past your heart. You have felt it during restless nights, when sleep escapes you not because of anxiety, but because your spirit is being nudged toward something greater than what your present life reflects. You may have even tried to rationalize it, telling yourself, Maybe it's just me overthinking, or maybe I'm reading too much into this. But I want you to understand, you are not imagining the movement. You are perceiving the beginning of transformation. You are sensing my hand gently turning the page of your story. I am stirring your spirit because I am preparing you for what is coming, and before I change what is around you, I often begin by awakening what is within you. This stirring is evidence that your spirit recognizes what your mind has not caught up to yet. It is the early echo of the future I am guiding you toward. You feel it because you are spiritually connected to the destiny I designed for you, not the version of life you settled for, but the one that has been waiting for the right moment to emerge. And though you may feel uncertain, your spirit knows me. It knows my patterns, my rhythms, my movements, even when your understanding does not. You feel this stirring because the season you are walking into requires a different posture, a deeper awareness, and a more awakened heart. I am calling you to rise from old patterns, old disappointments, and old expectations that kept you sleeping through opportunities meant to elevate you. I am stirring you so that your spirit wakes up before your circumstances shift, so you will not be caught unaware when the transformation begins to manifest in your life. You may feel tension between who you were and who you are becoming, and that tension is holy. It is the birthplace of change. Do not fight it, and do not dismiss it. Instead, lean into it with trust. I am not stirring you to confuse you. I am stirring you to prepare you. Every time you feel this inner pull, know that it is my way of saying, pay attention. Something new is approaching. And as you grow more aware of my movement within you, you will begin to see how every emotion, every nudge, every unexplained shift has been me gently guiding you into alignment with the future that is waiting, one that will soon reveal why this stirring had to begin inside you long before it appears around you. There comes a moment in every life where you sense, even before anything visibly changes, that the season you have been living in is no longer capable of containing who you are becoming. And my child, that is exactly where you are right now. You have tried to keep living as though you still fit perfectly in the old place, the old rhythm, the old mindset, the old expectations. But something within you has been whispering, this no longer feels like home. And that whisper is not dissatisfaction. It is growth. It is spiritual maturity rising within you, nudging you to acknowledge that you cannot stay where you are because where you are can no longer sustain your calling. You feel the tightness, the discomfort, the lack of room to breathe in certain areas of your life because you have expanded beyond the boundaries of your old season. You have stretched spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, even when you didn't realize it, and now the space you once settled for no longer feels right, no longer feels spacious, no longer feels aligned with where you are going. You may wonder why certain things that once fulfilled you now leave you feeling empty. You may notice that conversations, environments, or habits that once felt natural now feel out of place. These aren't signs of failure or instability. They are signs that I am elevating you. You cannot grow and stay comfortable simultaneously. You cannot expand and cling to what was familiar. Growth always creates a gap between your present identity and your next assignment. And the uneasiness you feel is simply the indicator that your spirit has stepped into a new season even if your circumstances haven't yet caught up. But hear me, you did not outgrow this season by accident. I allowed the stretching. I permitted the holy discontent. I stirred the hunger for more within you because I knew that if you stayed too comfortable, you would settle for a life far smaller than the one I designed for you. So do not grieve the shrinking of your old season. Rejoice that your spirit has responded to my call to rise. What once fit you perfectly now feels restrictive because I am preparing you to walk into a place enlarged by my promise, not defined by your past. You are ready for more, even if you do not feel ready, and this awareness is my gift to you. guiding you toward what is next with clarity and courage. My child, the reason everything around you feels too small, too narrow, too familiar, too insufficient, is because I am preparing you for a life you have never lived before, a life that requires a version of you that is rising even now. The dreams you once thought were big now feel modest. The routines you once clung to now feel limiting. The identities you once wore comfortably now feel outdated. This is not because your life is collapsing. It is because you are expanding. What once fit you perfectly is now constricting, not because you have lost your way, but because you have discovered your direction. You feel this tension because the life I am leading you toward does not resemble the one you have known. You are being prepared for new territories, new responsibilities, new blessings, and new spiritual authority. And the preparation always begins by loosening your grip on the old so that you can embrace the magnitude of what I am bringing. You may feel like you are standing between two worlds, the life you once knew and the life you have not yet entered. That in-between space can feel confusing, even frightening, because nothing seems stable. But understand this: the unfamiliar is not your enemy. It is the pathway into your purpose. I am stretching your faith, widening your capacity, and expanding your vision so you will not shrink back when I open the doors that are designed for your future. If I allowed you to remain attached to what once fit, you would resist the blessings meant to elevate you. So I lovingly allow discomfort to signal your readiness. I let the old season feel tight so that you will willingly step into the new one. And yes, it may feel like I am asking you to walk into a life that you cannot fully see, and that is exactly what I am doing. Because faith is not built by seeing the destination, it is built by trusting the one who is leading you toward it. You may not understand every step, but you will not walk alone. I am with you in the stretching, the releasing, the reordering, and the expanding. This is the beginning of a transformation that will shape the rest of your life. And as you continue forward, you will discover that the new life I am preparing for you is not simply better. It is truer, deeper, freer, and far more aligned with the destiny I placed inside you long before you were born. My child, hear me with the fullness of your heart. What is approaching your life is not an accident, not a coincidence, not a random shift of circumstances. It is the unfolding of prayers you thought I ignored, tears you believed evaporated unnoticed, and hopes you buried because you convinced yourself they would never rise again. You have whispered prayers in the quiet, in the dark, in the lonely hours where you questioned whether I heard you at all. You prayed with trembling hands and tired faith, telling me things you didn't dare tell anyone else. You thought those prayers vanished into the empty air, but they did not. They landed in my hands. Every plea, every longing, every broken sentence shaped by pain and expectation became part of a divine blueprint that has been forming beneath the surface of your life. You were convinced I was silent, but I was preparing. You believed I was distant, but I was aligning. You felt overlooked, but all the while I was working in places you could not see, orchestrating a change that required time, wisdom, and the careful weaving together of moments that would one day intersect with your destiny. You see, some prayers are answered quickly, like seeds that sprout overnight, but others require deep soil, long seasons, and roots that must grow before the harvest can break through the ground. The prayers you cried over were not denied, they were developing. I needed to strengthen you so that the blessing would not break you. I needed to refine your character so that what I give you next becomes a legacy, not a temporary relief. I needed to protect you from receiving too early what was meant to bloom in the fullness of time. And so you waited, sometimes with hope, sometimes with frustration, sometimes with a painful mixture of both. But now, the shift you feel, the stirring in your spirit, the sense that something is approaching, This is the early light of the answers you once believed would never come. I want you to understand this. Nothing you prayed for in sincerity was wasted. Nothing you hoped for in faith disappeared. Loving you surrendered to me was forgotten. And now, as I draw near to change the landscape of your life, you will begin to recognize my fingerprints in moments that once appeared meaningless. The breakthrough coming your way is not random. It is personal. It is intentional. It is connected to every midnight prayer, every weary sigh, every whispered "God, please." When the change unfolds, it will not simply bless you. It will remind you that I have been listening all along. You need to understand something vital, my child. While you were living your days, fighting your battles, navigating your struggles, and trying to make sense of your life, I have been moving in hidden places, arranging details, positioning people, opening pathways, and shifting circumstances you had no awareness of. Because the future I designed for you requires a level of alignment that only I could orchestrate. There are conversations happening about you that you have not heard. There are opportunities forming that you cannot yet see. There are hearts being softened, doors being prepared, paths being cleared, and divine appointments being scheduled long before you ever arrive at them. You may have looked at certain seasons of your life and thought, nothing is happening, but that was only because the work I was doing was beneath the surface, like a seed spreading its roots before it ever breaks into the light. If you could glimpse even a fraction of the orchestration unfolding on your behalf, your heart would overflow with peace. There are pieces you never knew were missing that I have already set into motion. There are connections being woven in ways that will one day leave you speechless. You have no idea how many obstacles I have redirected, how many disasters I prevented, how many painful paths I rerouted, all while you believed I was silent. The truth is, my silence has often been my construction. My stillness was the sound of me building something greater than your immediate understanding. And though you may have interpreted my work as absence, it was actually precision. There are things I protected you from that you thought you wanted. There are places I kept you from that you believed were right for you. There are delays you resented that became your greatest protection. This behind-the-scenes work is my love expressed in strategy, not merely sentiment. I am not just preparing a blessing. I am preparing you to walk into it fully empowered, fully equipped, and fully aware of how deeply involved I have been in every moment of your journey. And when the pieces finally converge, when you walk into a moment that feels strangely familiar, as though your spirit had been expecting it, you will know that nothing about it was accidental. You will see how carefully I have been aligning everything, even when you felt stuck. The orchestration was always underway, and now you are approaching the season where the hidden work will become visible. My child, before breakthrough changes your circumstances, it must first change you, and this inner reshaping is the very reason your journey has felt intense, stretching, uncomfortable, and at times even overwhelming. You have prayed for deliverance, for elevation, for clarity, for opportunity, for transformation, but breakthrough is not something that simply arrives like a package at your doorstep. It is something that must be carried, stewarded, and embodied. This means I must first prepare the vessel, you, for the weight and responsibility of what you're asking me for. You want doors to open, but I must strengthen the character that will walk through them. You want blessing, but I must first dismantle the fears that would sabotage it. You want increase, but I must teach you discipline so the increase doesn't slip through your hands. You want influence, but I must cultivate humility so that influence refines rather than corrupts you. Breakthrough is not just an event. It is a transformation, a deep internal shift that ensures that when the blessing arrives, you do not crumble under its weight. This is why you've felt the pressure in your spirit, the stretching in your emotions, the pulling away from old habits, and the inner confrontation with patterns you once ignored. I am reshaping the way you think, the way you respond, the way you believe, the way you carry yourself. You've noticed yourself becoming more aware, more reflective, more sensitive to what no longer aligns with your purpose, not because you're changing randomly, but because I'm preparing you to receive something greater than what you've known before. Breakthrough always begins internally. I must remove the lies you've believed about yourself. I must heal the wounds that keep repeating cycles in your life. I must strengthen your faith so that when I place new responsibility on your shoulders, you stand firm rather than shrink back. This inner transformation is often the part of breakthrough that feels the hardest because it requires surrender, honesty, and trust. But you are not being undone. You are being rebuilt. You are not being broken. You are being reformed. And when you emerge from this internal refining, you will realize that breakthrough didn't simply change what was around you. It changed you so you could finally handle what I have always wanted to give you. You are being reshaped for the future you prayed for. You are being strengthened for the blessings that are on their way. And when the breakthrough arrives, and it will, you will recognize that the greatest miracle wasn't the change in your circumstances, but the change I completed within your heart. My child, listen closely, because this truth will anchor you in every shift ahead. What I am doing in your life is not a simple rearranging of circumstances, but a holy reconstruction of who you are becoming. You have asked for me to change the things around you, the situations, the relationships, the obstacles, the delays, the disappointments. And though I will move in those areas, my deepest work is not external, it is internal. The circumstances of your life may bend and shift, but the real transformation is taking place inside you, in the quiet chambers of your heart where no one else sees. I am not just giving you a new path, I am giving you the strength, wisdom, and spiritual maturity to walk it. You have prayed for new doors, but I am preparing a new you, because without inner change, the blessings you longed for would slip through your fingers, or worse, overwhelm you before they could complete their purpose. You see, you have lived through seasons that formed habits, perceptions, assumptions, and reflexes that helped you survive. But survival is not the destiny I have written for you. You have carried reactions formed in past pain into present moments that were meant to be fresh and untainted. You have responded to new opportunities through the lens of old disappointments. And I cannot allow that to continue, because what is coming requires clarity, stability, and confidence rooted in truth rather than fear. So I am reaching into the deeper parts of your soul, the places you have ignored, the wounds you minimized, the beliefs you accepted without questioning, and I am reshaping them with my healing, my truth, and my presence. This process may feel uncomfortable, because internal transformation always feels like stretching, releasing, and unlearning all at once. You may feel moments where your emotions contradict your faith, where you wrestle with memories you thought you buried, where you sense old versions of yourself trying to pull you back into patterns that no longer fit. But do not fear this friction. It is the sign that you are being rewritten from the inside out. You are not who you used to be, and you are not yet who you will become. You are in the sacred in-between, where my hands are forming you, refining you, purifying you, restoring you, and preparing you for the life that is waiting for your arrival. And as this transformation unfolds, you will begin to notice something remarkable. Situations that once overwhelmed you no longer carry the same power. Conversations that once triggered insecurity will lose their grip. Fears that once paralyzed you will dissolve under the weight of the strength I am placing inside you. You will not merely step into a new season. You will step into it as a transformed person. And when you look back, you will realize that the greatest miracle was not the shift in your surroundings but the shift within you. the one that equipped you to carry the fullness of what I am bringing next. My child, you must understand this with all the seriousness of your destiny. The season you are stepping into cannot be navigated by the wounded version of you that once survived on fear, defensiveness, or self-protection. It requires the healed, strengthened, awakened version of you that I am raising up even now. For too long, the painful experiences of your past have shaped your choices, your reactions, your expectations, and even your sense of identity. You have made decisions through the lens of hurt, stepped into relationships with guardedness, and approached opportunities with hesitation because the wounds of yesterday whispered lies that felt like truth. But I am not leading you into a future that requires you to operate from brokenness. I am calling you into a place where healing becomes your foundation, not your afterthought. In this next season, the doors I am opening will require courage, discernment, vulnerability, and faith, all qualities that cannot flow freely when wounds are left unhealed. You cannot step boldly into purpose while dragging the shadows of old pain. You cannot embrace the new when your hands are still gripping the remnants of the past. So I am tending to the tender areas of your heart, the ones you tried to ignore, the ones you thought healed simply because you learned to function around them, the ones you hid because you feared they made you weak. I see every wound, every scar, every bruise, and I am placing my healing upon them, not to erase your story but to strengthen your spirit. Do not resist this healing. Do not rush it. Do not push away the moments where I bring old memories to the surface, not to shame you, but to liberate you. Healing is not reopening your pain. It is reclaiming your power. It is restoring the parts of you that were stolen by heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment, or neglect. And as these inner places begin to heal, you will feel something shift, your voice becoming clearer, your convictions stronger, your peace deeper, your boundaries healthier. You will begin making decisions from wholeness rather than fear, from wisdom rather than reaction, from truth rather than insecurity. This next season requires your healed self because the assignments, opportunities, and relationships waiting ahead are too meaningful, too weighty, too sacred to be filtered through old wounds. I am preparing you to lead, to love, to discern, to build, to grow, and to step forward with confidence you once believed was impossible. And as you walk into what is coming, you will discover that healing was not merely for your comfort, it was for your calling. My child, you must hear this with clarity and trust. Some doors in your life will close not because you failed, not because you are unworthy, not because you missed your chance, but because I am fiercely protecting the transformation taking place within you. You may feel confused when certain opportunities fade, when certain relationships distance, when environments that once felt right suddenly feel misaligned. You may find yourself asking, why did this end? Or what did I do wrong? But endings are not always losses. Sometimes they are divine shields. Sometimes I close a door because what is behind it would damage the new growth I am nurturing inside you. Sometimes I remove you from a situation because staying would stunt your development or reinforce patterns you are finally breaking free from. There are places you cannot remain if you are to become the person you are destined to be. There are voices that cannot influence you any longer. There are circles that no longer match your calling. Your habits that cannot follow you. And so, I close doors, not to hurt you but to guard you. You do not always recognize what would pull you backward, but I do. I see the spiritual implications, the emotional cost, the hidden dangers you cannot perceive. So I intervene. I interrupt. I redirect. And though my intervention may feel like disappointment at first, it will later become one of the clearest marks of my love in your life. Closed doors are not punishments. They are pavilions. They are signals that you have outgrown what once felt comfortable. They are signs that the season has shifted. They are divine markers that your path is being purified and refined. And as you release what is no longer meant to accompany you, the weight you feel now will turn into the freedom you feel later. You will look back on the doors I closed and realize they were never meant to carry the future you are walking into. Some connections would have drained you, some opportunities would have distracted you, some environments would have diluted you, and some paths would have delayed you. So do not mourn every ending. Do not chase every closing door. Do not cling to what I am removing with my own hand. What I close out of wisdom, protection, and love. And every time a door closes, it is because I am guiding you toward a better one that aligns with your healed identity, your renewed faith, and the transformation unfolding inside you. Trust me in the closing, because what I am leading you toward will reveal why certain things could no longer remain part of your journey. My child, pay attention to this quiet but unmistakable change within you. What once fascinated you, pulled you, entertained you, or numbed you is beginning to lose its grip, not because you have become dull or unfocused, but because I am shifting your spiritual appetite toward things that nourish your destiny rather than drain it. There was a time when lesser things filled your hours and occupied your thoughts, when you reached for temporary comforts because you did not yet understand the depth of what I was preparing within you. But now, something different is happening. You are noticing an inner pulling away from old routines, old habits, old conversations, old escapes, old patterns that once soothed you but never satisfied you. This is not burnout. It is awakening. You are outgrowing the distractions that once seemed harmless, because I am calling you into a season where clarity is essential, focus is sacred, and your attention must align with your purpose. Do not be unsettled when your heart no longer responds to the same stimuli. This shift is a sign that your spirit is maturing. You may find yourself wondering why certain activities no longer feel enjoyable, or why people whose voices once influenced you now feel distant, or why environments that used to bring comfort now feel strangely empty. But this emptiness is not a loss, it is a clearing. I am making space within you for deeper desires, deeper hunger, deeper encounters with meaning. You were never created to live on the surface of life, chasing momentary thrills or spiritual crumbs. You were created for depth, for purpose, for communion with what is eternal. So I am removing your taste for what is shallow so that you can finally crave what is sacred. You may feel lonely during this shift, because distractions once kept you company. But I am replacing them with something far greater: alignment. You will feel more drawn to peace than noise, more drawn to truth than entertainment, more drawn to growth than comfort, more drawn to my presence than anything that temporarily quieted your mind. Your soul is being recalibrated. Your desires are being upgraded. You are entering a season where your heart will hunger for what strengthens you instead of what sedates you. And though this transformation may feel disorienting at first, soon you will recognize it as one of my greatest gifts, the gift of a purified appetite, freed from distractions and awakened to destiny. My child, do not mistake the pressure you feel for punishment, nor the discomfort for danger. These sensations are the unmistakable signs that new life is pushing its way forward within you, stretching the old structures, expanding the limits, and preparing to break through everything that once confined you. Growth does not arrive quietly. Transformation does not whisper its way into your soul. It presses, it pulls, it expands, and at times it feels like a holy tension rising inside your very being. This is why you feel unsettled. This is why the familiar feels uncomfortable. This is why you sense yourself standing on shifting ground, unsure of what is changing but deeply aware that something is. This is the inner pressure that precedes breakthrough, and though it may feel heavy, it is sacred. Pressure is not evidence of my absence. It is evidence of my work. I am forming something inside you that cannot be contained by the old version of yourself. Your mindset is stretching to make room for greater faith. Your spirit is expanding to embrace deeper truth. Your capacity is enlarging so you can carry what is coming without collapsing under it. The discomfort you feel is the echo of transformation, the internal confirmation that you are not stuck. You are transitioning. Just as new life in the womb pushes against its boundaries before emerging into the world, so too is your spirit pressing against the limits of your current season because it cannot stay as it is. You may feel tension as old patterns resist their own unraveling. You may sense spiritual contractions as your soul prepares to step into alignment with what I have destined for you. You may feel emotionally stretched as I pull you away from what once numbed you toward what now awakens you. But do not fear this tension. Do not run from this stretching. What feels like instability is actually expansion. What feels like breaking is actually birthing. You are entering a season where discomfort is not a sign of danger. It is a sign of deliverance. And soon, you will see the beauty of what has been forming within you all along. My child, do not be surprised that old dreams you buried, dismissed, or surrendered to disappointment, are stirring again within your heart. For I am awakening what you thought was dead and breathing life into what you believed would never return. There were dreams you once carried with passion, dreams that lit your spirit with fire, dreams that felt so aligned with your purpose that you could not imagine living without them. But life happened. Wounds happened. Delays happened. And in the weight of discouragement, you laid those dreams to rest, telling yourself it was wiser to forget them than to hurt again. But hear me now, those dreams were not accidents. They were seeds I planted. And no seed I plant dies. It only waits for the right season to come alive. You are entering that season. This is why you are sensing desires you cannot explain, visions of possibilities you thought you left behind, flickers of passion you haven't felt in years. This reawakening is not nostalgia. It is destiny calling. I have been holding those dreams in my hand, protecting them through your seasons of pain, guarding them through disappointments, keeping them alive even when your hope for them faded. Now I am breathing on them again, stirring them within you because the time has come for them to rise. You may feel hesitant, unsure if you can trust these stirrings. You may wonder, is this real? Or am I just imagining it? But this is not imagination. It is restoration. This is me reviving the parts of you that have been silent for too long. I am reconnecting you to the passions that align with your calling. I am reigniting the creativity, the vision, the excitement, the purpose that once pulsed within you like fire. These dreams are returning not to torment you with longing, but to guide you toward what I have prepared ahead. You will not walk into the future empty-handed. You will walk carrying dreams resurrected by my breath. And as they awaken one by one, you will understand. They didn't die. They were waiting for the version of you that could finally carry them with strength, clarity, and faith. My child, feel the fire rising again in the places you once left cold, because I am rekindling dreams you buried, not because they were too big, too bold, or too unreachable, but because the timing of their unfolding required a stronger, wiser, more grounded version of you than the one who first carried them. You once held those dreams with trembling hands, believing they were glimpses of who you could become, but life's disappointments dimmed them, delays discouraged them, and your own self-doubt quietly covered them with soil as though they belonged in a grave. Yet even as you buried them, I kept them breathing beneath the surface, preserved in my purpose, untouched by the fear that tried to suffocate them. What you thought died was only dormant. What you thought we lost was only waiting. And now, in the ripening of this new season, I am returning those dreams to you, not as fragile hopes easily broken, but as promises strengthened through time, endurance, maturity, and grace. You will begin to feel them stirring the way embers glow when touched by fresh wind. They will call to you in ways you cannot ignore. Old desires will reappear with new clarity. Ideas you thought you outgrew will suddenly feel live, relevant, and urgent again. But this time, they will no longer overwhelm you. They will no longer frighten you. They will no longer feel too heavy for your hands. This rekindling is not meant to resurrect your old striving. It is meant to reveal how much you have grown, how deeply you have healed, and how profoundly you have matured into someone capable of carrying what once felt impossible. Do not brush off this stirring. Do not assume it is random. When a dream resurfaces after years of silence, it is not coincidence, it is calling. And you will notice that the dream feels different now. It feels purer, clearer, more aligned, because I have removed everything that once distorted it. When you first received it, you carried it with wounds that twisted its meaning. But now you will carry it from a place of healing, clarity, and surrender. You will not chase it out of desperation this time. You will pursue it with steady confidence. You will not force it. You will flow with it. I am rekindling this dream because the moment has finally come where what is happening within you matches what I have prepared for you. Timing has collided with readiness. Purpose has aligned with maturity. And destiny has arrived with its invitation in hand, calling you to step into the fullness of what was always meant to be. The dream did not die. You simply became the person capable of carrying it into its appointed future. My child, there's a deeper truth awakening inside you, a rising identity you may not fully recognize yet, but it is the one I designed long before the world spoke its labels over your life, long before pain shaped your self-view, long before disappointment lowered your expectations. You have spent years navigating identities that were handed to you by circumstance, by experiences, by failures, by voices that did not see your full worth. You adapted to survive, shaping yourself to fit environments that were never meant to define you. And somewhere along the way, the truest version of you, the one woven into your spirit before your first breath, grew quiet beneath the noise of everything you were told to be. But now, I am calling that true identity to rise. Its rising may feel unfamiliar. It may feel like new strength appearing in places that once felt weak. It may feel like confidence waking up where fear once lived. It may feel like clarity cutting through confusion that used to cloud your decisions. This is not you becoming someone else. This is you returning to who you really were all along. You are shedding the weight of expectations that never belonged to you. You are letting go of narratives that wounded you. You are releasing the false identities you clung to in moments of insecurity. And as these layers fall away, the identity I crafted within you begins to stand tall, unashamed, unfiltered, unburdened. You may feel yourself pulled toward things that align with your spirit rather than your history. You may find courage rising in moments where you once stayed silent. You may notice your voice sharpening, your vision clearing, your steps growing steadier. All of this is proof that you are awakening to your divine design, not the design of culture, trauma, or expectation, but the design of purpose, calling, and truth. I am reminding you of who you are: chosen, capable, resilient, wise, and deeply connected to me in ways the world never understood. The identity rising within you will not blend into the patterns you once lived by. It will challenge your old fears. It will disrupt your old cycles. It will pull you out of false comfort and into real calling. But do not resist it. This identity is the one that will lead you into your destiny. This is the version of you that can carry what is coming, withstand the battles ahead, and embrace the blessings I am preparing to release. You are not losing yourself, you are finally finding yourself. My child, feel this truth settling into your spirit like dawn breaking after a long night. You are stepping out of survival mode and into a season of spiritual strength, clarity, and stability, where you will no longer react from fear but rise from wisdom, no longer grasp for peace, but carry it within you. For years, you learned to survive. You learned to push through. You learned to function even when empty, smile even when hurting, and move forward even when you felt like collapsing. Survival shaped your instincts. It trained you to anticipate danger, to prepare for loss, to brace for disappointment, to expect the worst because the past taught you it was safer that way. But survival, though it kept you moving, also kept you small. It kept you guarded. It kept you tense. It kept you from breathing fully and dreaming freely. But I am ending that chapter now. I am leading you out of the wilderness of survival and into the wide open landscape of strength. You will begin to notice the shift gently at first, moments where you respond with peace instead of panic, where you speak with confidence instead of hesitation, where you make decisions from clarity rather than confusion. You will start recognizing the difference between reacting out of fear and choosing from wisdom. This is the fruit of the internal work I have been doing within you. You are not simply getting stronger, you are becoming anchored. Spiritual strength is not loud or forceful. It is steady. It is calm. It is resilient. And this strength will become the foundation upon which you stand as you enter the next season of your life. You will begin to see through situations that once overwhelmed you. You will discern truth from lies with ease. You will feel guided rather than lost, empowered rather than exhausted. And clarity, beautiful, quiet, undeniable clarity, will become your companion. I will make your path straighter, your decisions lighter, and your spirit fuller. You are not stepping into this season as a survivor. You are stepping into it as someone who finally understands their identity, their purpose, and their God-given strength. Survival was necessary for the past, but strength is necessary for the future. And as you embrace this new way of living, you will discover that peace is no longer something you chase. It is something you carry. My child, feel this with the gravity of truth. I am reaching into the deepest chambers of your heart and unseating the old fears that have lived there far too long, fears that became tenants in your soul without permission, fears that whispered lies so consistently you began to mistake them for your own thoughts. These fears have shaped your decisions more than you realized. They have told you where you can go and where you cannot. They have drawn boundaries around your courage and convinced you those boundaries were protection when, in truth, they were prisons. Fear has been a quiet puppeteer, tugging on your reactions, your relationships, your dreams, your hope. But now, in this sacred season of transformation, I am uprooting them, not gently, not slowly, but completely, because they cannot remain in the heart of the one who is rising into their purpose. You may feel me bringing to the surface things you thought you were over, memories you avoided, insecurities you learned to hide, situations that still carry emotional residue. Do not resist this surfacing. Fear can only be uprooted when it is exposed. I am not revealing these old shadows to overwhelm you. I am revealing them to remove them. I am shining light into places where fear once hid comfortably. I am breaking the agreements you made unknowingly with those fears. The agreement that you were not enough, that you would always fail, that you would always be abandoned, that good things could never last for you. These beliefs were never truth. They were wounds disguised as wisdom. And now, I am healing them at their root. The unseating of fear may feel like instability at first, because fear has been your default setting for so long that its absence feels unfamiliar. You may find yourself reaching for old anxieties the way someone reaches for a light switch in a dark room out of habit. but habits do not define your destiny. Every time I pull you away from fear, I am pushing you toward courage. Every time I dismantle a fearful thought, I am building a new foundation of truth. Every time I expose a fear, I am giving you authority over it. This inner liberation is not small. It is monumental. Fear has kept you from doors that were meant to open. Fear has silenced dreams meant to speak. Fear has tied your hands when you were made to build. Fear has convinced you to shrink when I created you to stand tall. But I am undoing all of that now. As fear loses its seat in your heart, you will begin to feel lighter, braver, clearer. You will step into moments you once avoided. You will speak words you once swallowed. You will dream dreams you once dismissed. And you will realize that I did not just remove fear. I restored the parts of you that fear had been holding hostage. My child, the anxiety that has pressed upon your chest, stolen your sleep, scattered your thoughts, and tightened your spirit will begin to break off you. But not because you learn to control everything around you. It will break because I am teaching you how to trust me on a deeper, steadier, more intimate level than you ever have before. Anxiety thrives where trust has not yet taken root. It grows in the gaps where your understanding cannot reach. It amplifies in the unknown, the uncertain, the uncontrollable. But anxiety cannot survive where trust becomes your anchor. So I am leading you into a season where trust will no longer be a concept, but a lived reality. Something you breathe, something you walk in, something that shapes your reactions and your perspective. You have tried to carry too much. You have tried to predict outcomes, manage every possibility, shield yourself from disappointment, and anticipate problems before they even formed. This constant vigilance has exhausted your soul. But I am not asking you to be strong enough to hold everything. I am asking you to trust me enough to release what was never meant to rest on your shoulders. Anxiety has convinced you that you are responsible for every detail, every outcome, every situation. But trust whispers a different truth. You are responsible for obedience, but I am responsible for results. As you begin to trust me more deeply, anxiety will lose the authority it once held. It will no longer define how you begin your day or end your night. It will no longer dictate your decisions or poison your hope. You will learn to pause where you once panicked. You will learn to breathe where you once felt suffocated. You will learn to surrender what you once clutched with trembling hands. And the more you release into my care, the more your spirit will settle into its God-designed rhythm of peace. This breaking of anxiety is not sudden. It is sacred. It happens as you learn, slowly, steadily, that I do not abandon you, that I do not fail you, that I do not mislead you. Every moment where you see my faithfulness will dissolve a layer of anxiety. Every answered prayer will weaken its grip. Every divine alignment will remind you that you are held. And soon, the anxiety that once defined your emotional world will become a distant echo, replaced by trust, peace, and a quiet inner confidence that only my presence can produce. My child, hear this truth rise like a steady flame within you. I am restoring your confidence, not the kind built on your own abilities, strength, or perfection, but the kind rooted in my presence within you, the confidence that grows from knowing you are never walking alone. Over time, life has chipped away at your confidence. Failures shook it. Criticism cracked it. Losses weakened it. Betrayals shattered it. And slowly, you began to believe that confidence was something you could only possess when everything was going well. But true confidence, the kind I am restoring, does not come from external success. It comes from internal knowing. It comes from understanding that no matter what you face, you are supported by something far stronger than your own capacity. It comes from recognizing that my presence is not beside you like a helpful companion. It is within you as the source of your strength. You have carried yourself as if you were fragile, uncertain, or insufficient because circumstances convinced you that you were always one mistake away from collapse. But I am rewriting that narrative. I am teaching you to walk with steadiness born from identity, not insecurity. You will not move with arrogance or self-reliance, but with the quiet humility of someone who knows they are sustained by something eternal. This confidence will not make you proud. It will make you grounded. It will not make you reckless. It will make you resolute. It will not make you self-centered. It will make you purpose-centered. And as your confidence is restored, you will notice yourself stepping differently, speaking differently, choosing differently. You will stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You will stop apologizing for the gifts I placed within you. You will stop hiding your voice in places where it is meant to bring change. Confidence is not noise. It is alignment. When you walk in it, you walk in the fullness of who you were created to be. This restoration will touch every part of your life. You will make decisions with clarity instead of fear. You will set boundaries without guilt. You will embrace opportunities without hesitation. You will walk away from what diminishes you without feeling unworthy. Confidence anchored in my presence will give you courage to face things you once avoided and strength to endure things that once overwhelmed you. I am restoring you from the inside out. Confidence is not returning. It is rising. And it will rise in you until you become the version of yourself I always saw, even in the seasons when you could not see it at all. My child, prepare your heart, because you are entering a season where you will sense my presence in ways that will surprise you, steady you, and surround you with a depth of awareness you have never experienced before, more distinctly, more consistently, more personally. You have known me in glimpses, moments where peace brushed your spirit, where clarity broke through confusion, where comfort wrapped around your heart just when you needed it most. But what is coming is not a glimpse. It is a deepening. It is a drawing near. It is a strengthening of your inner sight so that you no longer wonder whether I am with you. You will feel me, recognize me, perceive me with a certainty that quiets every fear and dismantles every doubt. I am not increasing my presence. I am increasing your awareness of it. You are awakening to me in the moments where you once felt alone, in the decisions where you once felt lost, in the emotions where you once felt overwhelmed. I am teaching you to recognize my nearness not only in the miraculous, but in the ordinary, not only in the dramatic, but in the subtle, not only in your victories, but in the questions that lead to them. You will begin to notice me in the shifts of your thoughts, the unexpected calm in your storm, the clarity that settles where confusion once lived. You will sense me when you wake, before your day begins, as if your spirit rises before your body to greet me. You will sense me in conversations where wisdom flows through you effortlessly, in moments where your heart knows what your mind cannot explain, in decisions where peace becomes your compass. And when fear tries to rise, you will feel my presence rising stronger. When doubt whispers, you will feel me grounding you. When anxiety stirs, you will sense my hand steadying your spirit. This is not imagination, it is intimacy. Do not be surprised when you begin to feel the pull to pause during your day, not out of obligation, but out of hunger. My presence will become your refuge, your anchor, your familiar place of strength. You will find yourself returning to me, not as a task, not as a ritual, but as instinct, because your spirit will know where home truly is. And as this awareness grows, everything in your life will begin to shift. You will worry less because you will sense me in the outcome. You will fear less because you will sense me in the battle. You will doubt less because you will sense me in the unknown. My presence will no longer be something you seek only in crisis. It will be the atmosphere of your daily life. This nearness is not something you must earn. It is something I freely pour. You are simply becoming aware of what was always here. And through this deeper knowing, you will walk forward with a strength that does not waver, because you will no longer question whether I am with you. You will feel me, guiding, guarding, and going before you. My child, I am bringing you into a season where my voice will rise above every other voice in your life, where you will become so attuned to my whisper that external affirmations will no longer carry the weight they once did, because you will no longer need permission to walk in what I have already spoken over you. For too long, you have relied on the voices around you to confirm your worth, your decisions, your direction, your potential. You have waited for others to validate what I have already planted in your spirit. And while affirmation from others can be encouraging, it can never replace the truth that flows from my voice. I am removing the dependency, not the encouragement. I am releasing you from the need for confirmation from those who cannot see what I see, cannot hear what I speak, and cannot discern what I have placed within you. You will begin to notice that my voice becomes clearer, not because I am speaking louder, but because the noise around you is losing its influence. You will feel a shift, a spiritual tuning, as if the static that once clouded your inner hearing is fading. Where confusion once lived, clarity will emerge. Where second-guessing once paralyzed you, confidence will take its place. I will speak to you in ways you recognize instantly, through scripture illuminated at the right moment, through a sudden knowing in your spirit, through peace that settles like a seal on your heart. And as this awareness sharpens, you will no longer crave the reassurance of others, because my guidance will become your compass. This does not mean you will shut people out. It means you will no longer shrink your purpose to fit their doubts. You will no longer delay your obedience because someone else cannot understand it. You will no longer silence what I have placed in you because someone else is uncomfortable with your calling. My voice will steady you and shape you. You will feel conviction where you once felt uncertainty, direction where you once felt lost, and empowerment where you once felt hesitant. The shift will be deep. It will rewire the way you make decisions, the way you see yourself, and the way you carry your calling. And as my voice grows louder in your spirit, external affirmation will become a blessing, not a requirement. You will appreciate encouragement, but you will no longer depend on it. You will walk boldly, not because others believe in you, but because I do. You will move forward, not because others approve, but because my voice has already confirmed the path beneath your feet. And that confidence, rooted not in applause but in truth, will change everything. My child, I am teaching you something precious: how to hear me in the stillness, not just in the storms, how to recognize my voice in the quiet patterns of your daily life, not only in the desperate moments where you cry out for rescue. You have known me as the one who answers when your world trembles, the one who intervenes when your heart breaks, the one who speaks through urgency and need. But I want you to know me not only as your deliverer. I want you to know me as your companion, your counselor, your steady presence that walks with you even when nothing is falling apart. Crisis taught you to seek me. Stillness will teach you to know me. In the season, I will calm the noise around you so you can hear me in the gentle rhythms you once overlooked, in the quiet moments of your morning, in the pause between your thoughts, in the subtle nudges that guide you, in the peace that rests on the right decisions and lifts from the wrong ones. My voice will feel less like thunder and more like a warm wind that brushes your spirit. It will come not to shake you but to shape you. And as you learn to hear me in the stillness, you will no longer need chaos to push you toward me. You will come willingly, drawn by love rather than desperation. This training may feel strange at first. Silence can feel uncomfortable when you're used to noise. Stillness can feel empty when you spent so much time surviving. But stay with me in those quiet moments. Sit with me. Breathe with me. You will begin to recognize that stillness is not emptiness. It is invitation. It is the space where I reveal the things you miss when life is loud. It is where I show you what peace truly feels like. It is where I align your inner world with my truth. And as your ears grow attuned to my still, steady voice, everything in your life will shift. You will worry less because you will hear me before anxiety takes root. You will stress less because you will sense my guidance before confusion arises. You will walk with more confidence because you will know that you can hear me even in the smallest details. You will no longer wait for crisis to encounter me. You will encounter me daily, deeply, quietly, continually. This is how I will strengthen you, not through noise, but through knowing. Not through right, but through relationship. Not through fear, but through fellowship. And once you hear me in the stillness, you will never fear silence again. My child, open the eyes of your spirit, because you are about to notice my guidance in places where you once saw nothing at all, in ordinary moments, in subtle shifts, in quiet impressions, in the gentle turning of your heart that once felt like coincidence, but was in fact my hand leading you all along. You have been trained by life to look for me only in the spectacular, the miracles, the breakthroughs, the unmistakable signs, but I am present in far more than the extraordinary. I guide you through the small details, the timing you don't question, the hesitation that saves you, the peace that settles when you're on the right path, the discomfort that warns you when you're drifting into places that don't belong to your purpose. You have overlooked many of these moments because they did not come wrapped in thunder or revelation. But now, in this new season of awakening, you will begin to recognize that my guidance is woven into every step you take. You will catch yourself pausing before decisions, not out of fear, but because you sense something deeper inviting you to wait. You will speak words you didn't plan, yet they will carry weight and wisdom beyond your understanding. You will feel drawn to certain paths without knowing why, and later discover that I positioned you there for divine alignment. You will sense a no within your spirit even when everything looks appealing, because your discernment is sharpening and your heart is learning to trust the language of my guidance. You will feel gentle promptings to call someone, avoid something, start something, or walk away, and these promptings will no longer feel random. They will feel sacred. There will be days when you look back and realize that what you thought was coincidence was actually orchestration. What you thought was your intuition was actually my whisper. What you thought was simply right place, right time was me aligning events with precision. You will become aware of me in your rhythms, in your driving, in your conversations, in the quiet moments when your mind drifts toward truth rather than fear. This awareness will shift your confidence. You will no longer walk uncertainly, hoping you are choosing correctly. You will walk with assurance because you will feel me pointing, nudging, confirming, and correcting with a tenderness you cannot ignore. As this awareness grows, your life will stop feeling like a maze and begin to feel like a guided journey. You will realize that I have been directing you in ways you never perceive, and now that your eyes are opening, you will experience the deep comfort of knowing you are not navigating life alone. You are being led, step by gentle step, by a presence that delights in bringing you into alignment with your purpose. My child, do not fear what is approaching, because what is coming into your life is not meant to overwhelm your spirit. It is meant to strengthen it, expand it, and fortify it in ways that will make you unshakable in seasons ahead. You have endured long stretches where the weight of life felt like too much, where challenges came faster than solutions, where you felt stretched thin and barely holding together. But the shift that is coming will not be like those seasons. This time, the stretching will not break you, it will build you. This time, the pressure will not crush you, It will refine you. This time, you will not feel buried. You will feel planted. I am not sending chaos into your life. I am sending growth. And growth, though uncomfortable at times, is never meant to destroy. It is designed to empower. The opportunities, responsibilities, relationships, and changes ahead will require spiritual strength. But I am already cultivating that strength within you. You may not recognize it yet, but the lessons you've learned in hardship have become foundations. The patience you developed in waiting has become resilience. The faith you held onto in uncertainty has become your anchor. Everything that once felt like it was weakening you has been quietly preparing you for what is about to unfold. You are stronger than you realize, wiser than you know, and far more equipped than you ever imagined, and what is coming will reveal the strength I've been building in you all along. You will find that your spirit rises instead of shrinking. You will find yourself handling situations with clarity that surprises you. You will enter moments that would have overwhelmed your past self, yet you will stand firm with a confidence that does not come from circumstances but from me within you. You will face decisions not with panic, but with discernment. You will navigate change not with fear but with faith. The strength you feel growing inside you is not your own. It is the expression of my presence fortifying you from within. Do not misinterpret spiritual stretching as danger. It is preparation. It is alignment. It is the shaping of a person who will no longer be tossed by storms or intimidated by uncertainty. You are being strengthened so that what once felt impossible will feel natural, and what once felt heavy will feel light. This new strength will not make you hard. It will make you whole. It will not make you distant. It will make you steady. It will not make you proud. It will make you grounded in truth. What's coming is not a burden. It is a building. And you will not face it alone. For I am with you, empowering your spirit every step of the way. My child, listen with courage, because I am preparing victories for you. Victories that will require a boldness, a strength, and a courage you did not know lived within you until this very season revealed it. These victories will not be handed to you without movement, nor will they unfold in the absence of challenge. They will come as you step forward, as you trust, as you obey, as you rise above fear. I am positioning breakthroughs that will open doors you once thought were permanently locked. But every victory I am bringing requires your participation, not because I need your strength to accomplish it, but because I desire your courage to step into it. There will be moments ahead where you will stand at the edge of something new and feel the familiar tremble of uncertainty. Your first instinct may be to retreat, to question, to wonder if you're capable. But in those moments, you will feel my voice rising stronger than your fear, reminding you that courage is not the absence of trembling. It is the decision to move forward anyway. You will discover that bravery is not something you manufacture. It is something awakened in you when my presence fills your spirit. You will step into opportunities that once intimidated you. You will speak words you never thought you'd have the confidence to say. You will walk into places you once avoided. You will overcome obstacles that once felt immovable. And with each step, with each act of courage, you will realize that the victories I prepared were not merely about outcomes. They were about developing the boldness required to carry the blessings that follow. These victories will open your eyes to who you truly are. You will see strength you didn't know you possessed, resilience you didn't know you carried, capacity you didn't know was within you. And with each victory, you will be prepared for the next level of responsibility and purpose. I am not giving you victory just to bless you. I am giving you victory to prepare you for destiny. So when you feel the call to step forward, do not hesitate. When you sense the pull toward something unfamiliar, do not shrink back. Courage is already rising in you. And as you obey, as you trust, As you move with faith instead of fear, you will step into victory after victory, each one revealing my hand, my guidance, my power, and the extraordinary strength I have placed within you. My child, prepare yourself, for you are approaching moments where I will swing open doors so intentionally, so unmistakably, so divinely aligned that no person, no system, no opposition, no circumstance will be able to shut them, delay them, or interfere with them. You have walked through seasons where every door felt locked, where opportunities slipped through your fingers, where timing seemed to work against you. You questioned your readiness, your worth, and even my presence in the waiting. But what you did not realize was that those withheld doors were not rejections, they were protections. They were pauses designed to mature you, strengthen you, and prepare you so that when the right doors opened, you would walk through them with confidence instead of hesitation, with clarity instead of confusion, with courage instead of fear. Now, I am positioning you for opportunities that require no striving, no forcing, no manipulating, no begging. These are doors that will open because I will them open. They are doors that align with your calling, not your comfort. They are doors that lead you into spaces you once admired from afar but never believed you'd actually enter. You will recognize these moments instantly, not because they will be easy, but because they will be undeniable. Peace will cover them like a seal. Clarity will accompany them like a guide. And favor will surround them like a shield. As these divine opportunities appear, you may feel the old hesitations creep in, questions about your ability, your readiness, your qualifications. But remember this: if I open the door, then you are ready to walk through it. You will not move by your own strength, but by the momentum of my purpose. What is ahead for you will not be fragile. It will not be something that can be stolen, sabotaged, or manipulated. These doors will not depend on human approval or acceptance. They will not hinge on past mistakes or old identities. They will open because my hand is upon them, and when I move, nothing can stand in the way. Do not fear the magnitude of what I am placing before you. Divine opportunities often look bigger than what you feel prepared for, but they are not measured by your capability. They are measured by mine. As you walk through these doors, you will realize that every season of waiting was training. Every closed door was alignment. Every disappointment was redirection. And now, everything is converging into a moment where my purpose will unfold before you in ways that leave you humbled, amazed, and deeply aware that I have been orchestrating this all along. My child, do not be unsettled by the way relationships around you are shifting, changing, loosening, or tightening. For these shifts are not the result of chaos. They are the result of divine alignment. You are stepping into a season where not every voice can walk with you, not every influence can shape you, and not every companion can accompany you into the future I am calling you toward. Some relationships were assigned to a past version of you, to lessons you've learned, or to seasons that have expired. And as I expand your capacity and deepen your calling, certain connections must adjust so they do not hold you back, drain your strength, or distract your spirit. This is not punishment for you or for them. It is sacred restructuring. You may feel a quiet pulling away from people you once depended on, or find that conversations you once enjoyed no longer resonate with who you are becoming. You may notice unexplainable distance emerging in relationships that have been comfortable for years. Do not misinterpret this as rejection or betrayal. This is alignment. I am repositioning your relational world so that the voices surrounding you echo truth, strength, purpose, and encouragement rather than confusion, stagnation, or fear. Every shift is intentional. Every adjustment is strategic. Every change is preparing you for what is ahead. And just as some will fade, Others will arrive. I am bringing new people into your life whose presence will strengthen you, whose wisdom will sharpen you, whose support will uplift you, and whose spirit will align with your calling. These will be people who speak life when you feel discouraged, who see potential where others saw flaws, who challenge you to rise when you feel like shrinking, and who call out the greatness I placed within you. You will feel their arrival in your spirit before you even understand their purpose. They will not drain you. They will refresh you. They will not compete with you. They will celebrate you. They will not hinder you. They will propel you. Let relationships shift without clinging in fear to what is leaving or hesitating to embrace what is arriving. Alignment sometimes feels like loss, but it is actually preparation. I am surrounding you with people who match the season you are entering, not the season you are exiting. Trust the process. Trust the transitions. Trust that I am weaving your relational world with intentional precision. And when the alignment settles, you will realize that every shift was for your strengthening, not your suffering. My child, prepare your heart for the arrival of new voices. People I am sending strategically into your life. People who will speak life into your weary places, faith into your hesitant places, and clarity into your uncertain places. You have carried the weight of too many seasons alone. You have silently battled thoughts no one knew about. You have encouraged others even when your own spirit felt depleted. But I have seen every moment where you longed for someone to understand you, someone to challenge you, someone to support you without expecting anything in return. And now, in this season of transformation, I am answering that unseen longing. I am sending people who will see you, not just the version you show the world, but the truth of who you are becoming. They will recognize your calling. They will honor your heart. They will support your growth. They will not feel intimidated by your elevation nor threatened by your strength. Instead, they will stand beside you, not to overshadow you, but to fortify you. These are destiny-aligned relationships, people ordained to walk with you into the future because their presence will strengthen what I am building within you. Some of these people will appear unexpectedly. Some will enter quietly but become deeply impactful. Others will arrive boldly, shifting the atmosphere of your life as soon as they step into it. They will not drain you emotionally. They will not diminish your purpose. They will not confuse your discernment. They will speak truth when you need direction, encouragement when you feel low, correction when you drift off course, and wisdom when you face decisions that require spiritual clarity. These new voices will increase your faith by their faithfulness. They will remind you of who you are when your past tries to whisper who you were. They will call out gifts you minimized, highlight strengths you ignored, and help you see potential you overlooked. You will feel strengthened in their presence, not because they replace me, but because they carry my grace into your life. Do not fear the unfamiliarity of these new connections. Do not cling so tightly to old relationships that you cannot receive the new ones. Destiny requires community. Purpose requires partnership. Calling requires alignment. And I am sending precisely the people who will walk with you, not behind you, not ahead of you, but beside you, as you step into the fullness of what I have prepared. My child, do not mourn the fading of certain connections, for their quiet departure is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something is right with what I am doing within you. There are people who walked with you in past seasons who cannot walk with you into the future I am shaping. Not because they are bad, unworthy, or unimportant, but because their presence no longer aligns with the spiritual elevation taking place inside you. Some relationships were built for comfort, not calling. Some were anchored in shared wounds, not shared purpose. Some were held together by familiarity, not destiny. And as my presence expands within you, the misalignments will become too evident to ignore. You may find conversations feeling hollow, connections feeling strained, or interactions feeling heavier than they should. This is not conflict, it is clarity. And clarity is one of my greatest gifts to you in this season. You may wonder why people you once trusted feel distant, why their influence has weakened, why their voice no longer shapes your decisions the way it used to. This is because I am training your heart to discern who carries my presence into your life and who carries confusion, complacency, or distraction. You are becoming more sensitive to the atmosphere around you, more protective of your spirit, more aware of the energy people bring when they enter your space. And as your awareness deepens, certain connections will naturally lose their grip, not because you pushed them away, but because their season in your life has completed its purpose. Do not fight to hold on to what I am gently loosening. Do not chase after what I am releasing. When people fade, it is often because I am making room for those whose presence will water your growth, sharpen your discernment, strengthen your faith, and support your destiny. You will not walk alone, but you will walk aligned. And alignment sometimes requires separation. What once connected you to certain people, shared pain, shared history, shared struggle, may no longer be the glue that holds the relationship together. You are healing. You are maturing. You are rising. And not everyone will rise at the same pace or in the same direction. So release with grace. Let go without bitterness. Trust that I am orchestrating every relational shift with intention. Those who fade were part of your journey, but those who remain, and those who are coming, will be part of your calling. And the calling always requires people who walk with my presence, not just your past. My child, feel this shift beginning deep within you. I am renewing your mind in ways that will transform your perspective, your decisions, your beliefs, and the way you interpret everything around you. You have lived for years with thoughts shaped by fear, doubt, insecurity, trauma, and the echoes of voices that spoke less of you than what I created you to be. These thoughts shaped how you saw yourself, how you handled obstacles, how you responded to opportunities, and even how you approached me. But now, in this season of transformation, I am rewriting the inner script that once controlled you, replacing fear-rooted thoughts with truth-rooted identity. Your mind has carried patterns that were never meant to stay, automatic reactions formed by old wounds, assumptions built from disappointment, worries that became familiar companions, internal narratives that reinforced your lowest moments instead of your highest calling. You have battled thoughts that whispered limitations over you, thoughts that told you you'd fail, thoughts that told you you weren't worthy, thoughts that convinced you to expect the worst so you wouldn't be hurt again. But I am dismantling those strongholds now, not with force, but with revelation, not with shame, but with truth, not with pressure, but with gentle, steady renewal. You will begin to catch thoughts that once felt natural and recognize them as lies. You will sense inner resistance when fear tries to speak, because your spirit will no longer agree with it. You will feel truth rising to challenge every narrative that once diminished you. My truth will not simply comfort you. It will correct you. It will realign you. It will rebuild your inner world. Where fear used to command your emotions, truth will establish peace. Where doubt once shaded your decisions, truth will provide clarity. Where insecurity influenced your self-image, truth will restore identity. This renewal will not be a moment. It will be a process. A holy, powerful, transformative process where you learn to think from a place of strength, not survival. A process where you learn to question the voices that once controlled you. A process where you begin to expect good rather than brace for disaster. A process where you learn to believe in what I have spoken over you more than what life has whispered to you. And as your mind renews, your life will follow. Because when your thoughts align with my truth, everything within you begins to rise into alignment as well. My child, as your mind renews and your spirit awakens, you will feel a new boldness rising inside you, one that transforms the way you think, the way you pray, and the way you expect me to move in your life. For too long, your thoughts have been shaped by caution, your prayers by timidity, and your expectations by fear of disappointment. You learned to dream small so you wouldn't feel the pain of unfulfilled hope. You prayed safe prayers because you didn't believe you were worthy of more. You expected little because life taught you to anticipate loss rather than abundance. But I am breaking that entire cycle, and in its place, I am cultivating boldness, holy, humble, courageous boldness. You will begin to think differently, not from a place of limitation but from a place of expansion. Ideas that once intimidated you will now excite you. Possibilities you once dismissed will now feel attainable. You will think with clarity instead of confusion, with hope instead of hesitation, with purpose instead of passivity. This is not arrogance, it is awakening. It is your spirit recognizing what I placed within you long ago. Your prayers will begin to shift as well. You will stop praying from fear and begin praying from faith. You will stop asking timidly and start asking boldly, not because you feel entitled, but because you finally understand my heart towards you. You will pray prayers that stretch your imagination, that confront your fears, that align with your destiny. You will ask for things you once felt unworthy of, because you will finally understand that your worth was never the issue, your belief was. And your expectations, your precious, fragile, deeply wounded expectations, will begin to heal. You will no longer brace yourself for disappointment. You will no longer assume things will fall apart. You will no longer shrink your hope to protect your heart. Expectation will rise within you like dawn breaking across a dark horizon. You will expect goodness, favor, clarity, provision, guidance, and breakthrough, not because life has always given you these things, but because I have promised them to you. Bold thoughts, courageous prayers, faithful expectations. These are not luxuries. They are necessities for the season you are entering. And as they rise, they will reshape your entire life from the inside out. My child, feel this truth breaking open inside you. Every limitation you placed on yourself, every boundary you created from fear, every smallness you accepted because life taught you to shrink, is falling away as I begin revealing who you truly are and who you were always meant to become. You have lived too long measuring your worth by past failures, comparing your abilities to others, doubting your gifts, and assuming that greatness was for someone else. You told yourself you weren't capable, weren't qualified, weren't strong enough, weren't chosen, but none of those narratives came from me. Those limitations grew from wounds, disappointments, misguided voices, and moments where you misinterpreted my delays as denials. Yet even in those seasons, I saw what you could not. I saw strength where you saw weakness. I saw resilience where you saw failure. I saw potential where you saw inadequacy. And now, I am removing the distorted lens that kept you from seeing yourself as I see you. As I lift these limitations from your spirit, you will feel a surprising boldness rising within you. Tasks that once intimidated you will begin to feel possible. Dreams that once looked distant will suddenly feel reachable. You will think to yourself, "Why did I ever believe I wasn't capable of this?" And the answer will become clear, because you had been living in the shadow of your past rather than the light of my truth. But that shadow is dissolving now. I am revealing abilities you forgot you had, gifts you never fully explored, strengths that were buried beneath years of doubt. You will discover that you were never unqualified. You were simply unawakened. This unveiling will not make you arrogant. It will make you authentic. You will not boast in your skill. You will walk confidently in your assignment. You will stop lowering yourself to fit spaces you've outgrown. Stop apologizing for having vision. Stop shrinking so others feel comfortable. You will rise, not to elevate yourself above anyone, but to finally stand in alignment with the purpose I've placed within you. You will begin to realize that the only thing that ever truly limited you was your belief about what you could become. And once that belief changes, everything changes. Limitation cannot survive where revelation lies. My child, I am about to astonish you with the strength that will rise in the very areas where you once felt the weakest, the most defeated, the most overwhelmed, the most incapable. You have looked at certain parts of your life, habits you couldn't break, emotions you couldn't manage, situations you couldn't fix, wounds you couldn't heal, and you assumed those places defined your limits. You believed they were permanent vulnerabilities, unchangeable realities, unmovable weaknesses. But nothing in your life is beyond my reach, and nothing in your character is beyond my transformation. The places where you once felt powerless are becoming the very places where my strength will be most visible. You will begin to notice inner muscles you didn't know you possessed. You will respond differently than you ever have before, calmer in situations that once overwhelmed you, wiser in situations that once confused you, grounded in moments that once shook you. You will suddenly see yourself handling challenges with grace, with patience, with courage, with wisdom that can only come from my presence working through you. And each time you face something that used to defeat you, you'll realize, I am not the same person I used to be. Something inside me has changed. His strength will not come from striving. It will not come from forcing yourself to be better. It will come from transformation, from my hand reshaping your inner world, from healing replacing hurt, from truth replacing fear, from identity replacing insecurity. Strength is not the absence of weakness. It is the presence of my power where your own strength once failed. And as this power flows through you, you will feel an inner stability that anchors you even when circumstances shift. Soon, the places that once made you tremble will become the places you stand tallest. The situations that once drained you will become the ones you navigate with confidence. The emotions that once controlled you will become the ones you master with clarity. And it is not because you suddenly gained ability. It is because my strength is being perfected in you, rising in the very areas you thought were permanently broken. My child, I am reaching into the places you've tried to forget, the wounds you buried beneath busyness, the pain you masked with strength, the hurts you told yourself didn't matter, because I am healing the hidden wounds that have shaped how you react, how you trust, how you love, how you protect yourself, and how you see the world. You learn to survive without healing. You learn to function while carrying pain no one else saw. You learn to smile while memories trembled beneath the surface. And because the wounds were hidden, you assumed they had healed. But hidden wounds do not simply disappear. They influence everything silently from the shadows. I am not bringing these wounds to the surface to hurt you. I am bringing them to the surface to free you. You have reacted defensively in moments that didn't require defense. You have shut down emotionally when you actually needed connection. You have pulled away from good relationships because old injuries convinced you they were dangerous. You have apologized for needs that were valid. You have feared love because past love broke you. These reactions are not flaws, they were wins. And now, I am healing them from the inside out. This healing will feel gentle at times and intense at other moments. You may revisit memories that sting. You may feel emotions you suppressed years ago. You may find yourself grieving losses you never allowed yourself to grieve. But every tear that falls in this season is cleansing you. Every old memory I touch is loosening its grip. Every layer that comes up is being released so it no longer defines your relationships, your responses, or your sense of self. As these wounds heal, you will notice you no longer react from fear but from clarity. You will no longer assume the worst. You will discern the truth. You will no longer sabotage connections. You will nurture them. You will no longer tolerate what wounds you. You will honor your worth. You will no longer build walls. You will build boundaries. You will love, trust, speak, and relate from a place of health rather than hurt. You are not being undone. You are being restored. And when this healing completes its work, you will walk into relationships with a heart that is whole, steady, and capable of giving and receiving love without fear. My child, feel this transformation settling into the deepest parts of you. The turmoil that once stole your nights, the unrest that kept your mind spinning, the fears that roamed in the dark hours are losing their power, because I am replacing the chaos with a peace that will not merely visit you, but will live inside you. You have endured nights where your thoughts felt louder than my promises, where worry wrapped itself around your chest like a net, where sleep felt distant no matter how tired your body was. You have laid in bed replaying conversations, imagining worst-case scenarios, fighting invisible battles that left you drained before the morning even arrived. But now, I am speaking to the storms inside you, storms that no one else knew you were fighting, and I am commanding them to settle. Not with force but with presence, not with pressure but with assurance. I am removing the restless cycles that kept you awake and replacing them with a stillness born from trust. You will begin to feel this shift subtly at first. Moments where your thoughts calm faster than they used to. Moments where your body relaxes quicker than expected. Moments where you realize you are no longer bracing for disaster as you try to fall asleep. This is not coincidence. It is healing. I am untangling the anxious threads woven into your nervous system. I am quieting the inner alarms that were triggered by past pain. I am replacing the what if questions with even if. I am with you. Peace will not be a thin blanket that slips away in the night. It will be a warm, steady covering that stays upon you. And this peace will ripple beyond your nights into your days. You will notice yourself responding calmly to things that once agitated you. You will feel grounded in situations that once destabilized you. You will interpret events through truth instead of fear. This peace will not simply give you rest. It will reshape your rhythm. It will anchor your emotions, sharpen your focus, and restore your ability to breathe deeply without feeling like stress is clawing at the edges of your mind. Where turmoil once dictated your nights, peace will now prophesy your mornings. And you will finally know what it feels like to rest, not just sleep, but rest in the fullness of my presence. My child, the joy you thought was lost, the joy you believed life had stolen, the joy you assumed was temporary or fragile, I am restoring it to you not as a fleeting emotion, but as a permanent river flowing deep within your spirit. There were seasons where laughter felt foreign, where your smile felt forced, where even good moments carried a shadow of heaviness you couldn't explain. You told yourself joy was optional, something for children or for people whose lives were easier, lighter, less burdened. You convinced yourself that survival was enough. But I never created you merely to survive. I created you to carry joy that strengthens you, sustains you, and keeps your heart alive even in difficult seasons. This joy I am restoring is not dependent on circumstances. It does not rise and fall with good days or hard days. It does not crumble under pressure. It does not hide when challenges appear. This joy flows from me, constant, steady, unbroken. It is the joy that gives you courage when you feel overwhelmed. It is the joy that lifts your chin when your heart feels heavy. It is the joy that whispers hope into the cracks of your soul. You will begin to feel it stirring inside you, sometimes unexpectedly. Moments of warmth, moments of gratitude, moments when you feel lightness for no logical reason. These are not accidental. They are signs of the river returning. And as joy comes back, it will change the way you experience everything. You will no longer dread the future. You will anticipate it. You will no longer numb yourself. You will feel deeply and safely. You will no longer see life as a series of battles. You will see it as a journey filled with moments where grace reveals itself in the most ordinary places. Joy will become the strength that carries you through challenges, the lens through which you see your purpose, and the atmosphere of your inner world. It will not be loud or shallow. It will be steady and rooted. A river that does not dry when seasons change. A river that nourishes your soul. A river that reminds you that you were created not just to endure life, but to delight in it. My child, one of the greatest transformations you are about to experience is this. Your spirit will grow steady, unshaken, anchored, even when the circumstances around you fluctuate, shift, or attempt to intimidate you. In the past, storms rattled you easily. A single disappointment could derail your peace. A negative word could steal your confidence. A setback could make you question your worth. You lived at the mercy of external events, feeling stable only when life cooperated. But now, I am strengthening you at your core so that your stability is no longer tied to circumstances. It is tied to me. You will begin to notice a remarkable inner shift. Things that once triggered panic will now trigger prayer. Things that used to overwhelm you will now prompt wisdom. Things that once caused emotional spirals will no longer pull you under. Your reactions will mature. Your boundaries will strengthen. Your inner world will quiet. Not because life will suddenly become easy, but because you will no longer be tossed by its waves. You will stand like a tree with deep roots. Winds may blow, storms may come, but your foundation will remain unmoved because it is anchored in something eternal. This steadiness will become one of your greatest testimonies. People will notice it. They will ask how you remain so calm in situations that once rattled you. They will wonder how you maintain hope when others lose it. This steadiness is not self-control. It is spiritual maturity. It is the fruit of the transformation happening in your heart. And this steadiness will allow you to discern clearly, love deeply, choose wisely, and live boldly without the constant emotional turbulence that once exhausted you. Your circumstances may still change, but you will not. Your storms may still come, but you will not collapse. Your obstacles may still appear, but you will not fear them. You will face life not as a fragile soul in survival mode, but as a grounded, steady, strengthened spirit walking in alignment with my presence. This is the steadiness that carries you toward destiny, calm, confident, unshaken, deeply anchored in me. My child, prepare your heart, because I am sharpening your discernment in ways that will astonish you. You will begin to see, sense, and understand with deep clarity what is from me and what is not, what is aligned with your purpose and what is subtly pulling you away from it. In the past, confusion clouded your decisions. You struggled to tell the difference between your own thoughts, your fears, the expectations of others, and my guidance. Even good opportunities sometimes led you into draining places because they looked right but did not carry my breath. But now, I am tuning the frequency of your spirit so that you recognize my voice instinctively, like a familiar note your heart cannot miss. You will feel a yes inside your spirit when something is meant for you, steady, peaceful, anchored, even if it stretches you. And you will feel a no just as clearly. Tightness, unrest, internal hesitation, even if the opportunity looks appealing on the surface. This clarity will not come from your intellect. It will come from your intimacy with me. I am teaching you to trust the inner nudge, the subtle caution, the quiet pull away from things that seem harmless but are misaligned. You will feel me whisper in moments where you once felt blind. You will notice red flags you used to ignore. You will catch manipulation before it has time to influence you. You will sense distraction in its early stages, and you will recognize truth even when it is whispered. You will begin to perceive motives, yours and others, without judgment, but with wisdom. You will see beyond appearances and into spiritual implications. This discernment will protect you from unnecessary pain, wasted time, and draining relationships. And though this clarity may challenge your old patterns, it will liberate you into new confidence. You will no longer second-guess every decision. You will no longer feel pulled in multiple directions. You will no longer chase validation to confirm what your spirit already knows. Instead, you will walk with a steady assurance that what is from me will carry peace, alignment, purity, strength, and truth, and what is not will eventually reveal itself through tension, confusion, or inconsistency. This gift of discernment is not to isolate you, it is to elevate you. It is to help you navigate the next season with precision, not guessing. With confidence, not hesitation. With wisdom, not fear. And as your discernment grows, your destiny will unfold with clarity only I could give. My child, feel the stirring inside you, the gentle, growing hunger for holiness that is rising not out of pressure, not out of religious duty, not out of the need to perform, but out of a deep desire to be close to me, to walk in purity because your spirit longs for intimacy with me more than anything else. Holiness is not perfection. Holiness is proximity. It is your heart turning toward me in the quiet moments. It is your spirit recognizing my presence and responding with openness. It is your mind choosing truth instead of lies, peace instead of panic, clarity instead of confusion. It is the willingness to let me shape your character, refine your desires, cleanse your motives, and heal the places where old wounds once distorted the purity of who you truly are. This hunger for holiness is evidence that your spirit is maturing. You are beginning to crave what strengthens you instead of what weakens you. You are noticing when your soul feels heavy from choices that misalign with your purpose. You are beginning to lose your appetite for distractions that once seduced you. You are becoming more sensitive to my whisper and more resistant to the noise around you. This is not you trying harder to be good. This is me awakening your truest self, the version of you that thrives in my presence, that walks with integrity not because it is required, but because it is natural when you are aligned with me. And as this hunger grows, you will experience holiness not as restriction, but as freedom. You will feel lighter when you release what does not belong in your spirit. You will feel clearer when your motives align with truth. You will feel stronger when your character matches your calling. You will feel closer to me when you choose what honors the growth I am cultivating in you. Holiness is not about denying yourself life. It is about discovering the fullness of life as I designed it. It is about walking in identity instead of insecurity, in purpose instead of confusion, in peace instead of turmoil. This hunger will deepen your prayer life, your decisions, your relationships, your inner world. It will draw you into my presence not out of fear, but out of longing. This awakening is not temporary. It is the beginning of a deeper walk. And as holiness grows in you, you will begin to see me more clearly, hear me more distinctly, and feel me more intimately than ever before. You will become familiar with my heart. And the more you draw near, the more your whole life will reflect the beauty of my presence working within you. My child, the transformation I am bringing into your life will awaken a longing within you that surpasses every desire you once chased, every pursuit that once consumed you, every craving that once pulled your attention away from what mattered. You will find yourself wanting me more than anything else. Not because life becomes easy, not because you suddenly become perfect, but because your spirit recognizes the emptiness of everything that once tried to satisfy you. You have chased affirmation, but it left you hungry. You have pursued success, but it could not quiet your soul. You have tried to fill the inner ache with distractions, achievements, relationships, and temporary comforts, but none of them rested your heart the way my presence does. And now, as I draw you deeper, you will begin to recognize that the longing you once tried to silence was actually the echo of your spirit, calling for me. This desire for me will not feel forced or pressured. It will feel natural, like returning to a home you didn't know you were missing. You will find yourself seeking me in moments you once rushed through. You will feel drawn to quiet spaces, not because you want isolation, but because you want connection. You will hunger for my voice more than the opinions of others. You will reach for my presence before reaching for distractions. You will find that prayer no longer feels like duty. It feels like oxygen. Scripture no longer feels like obligation. It feels like revelation. Worship no longer feels like a ritual. It becomes your response. And as this desire grows, everything else will shift. You will stop chasing what drains you. You will stop pursuing what wounds you. You will stop running after things that give temporary satisfaction but steal long-term peace. Your priorities will reorder themselves. Your ambitions will mature. Your desires will align with who you are becoming. You will want me not because you fear losing me, but because you finally understand the fullness of life that flows when you walk closely with me. This longing is the greatest sign that transformation is taking root. When you want me more than anything else, everything else in your life finds its proper place. And in that alignment, you will experience a depth of peace, purpose, clarity, and fulfillment that you never knew was possible. The world will not lose its beauty, but it will lose its power to distract you. Because when your heart desires me first, everything else becomes clearer, lighter, and aligned with the future I have written for you. My child, prepare yourself, for you are entering a season where your priorities, what you value, what you chase, what you invest in, what you allow into your spirit, will shift dramatically, not because someone told you to change, but because my purpose for you is becoming clearer, louder, and more compelling than everything that once distracted you. You have spent years pouring energy into things that kept you busy, but did not fulfill you, investing in people who did not value your heart, pursuing goals that brought temporary satisfaction but long-term emptiness. You did these things not because you were weak, but because you were searching for meaning, acceptance, direction, identity. But now, as I unveil my purpose within you, those misplaced priorities will begin to lose their power over you. What once felt urgent will no longer pull you. What once felt important will no longer impress you. What once consumed your thoughts will suddenly feel small compared to the calling that is awakening inside you. You will begin to notice this shift in subtle ways. Your spirit will grow restless in places that once felt comfortable, because you now sense they no longer serve your destiny. You will feel a gentle conviction when you entertain distractions that steal your focus. You will catch yourself saying no to things you used to say yes to without hesitation. This is not you becoming rigid or restricted. This is you becoming aligned. Purpose demands focus, and I am giving you the spiritual clarity to protect your time, your mind, your energy, and your heart from anything that dilutes your calling. As this shift deepens, you will find yourself drawn to things that build you, not drain you. You will choose environments that nourish your spirit. You will invest more in growth than in guilt, more in presence than in pressure, more in truth than in temporary comforts. You will feel joy when you set boundaries, because they will be rooted in wisdom rather than fear. You will prioritize healing, peace, relationships that honor your soul, and decisions that align with the person you are becoming. These shifts will not make your life smaller. They will make it intentional, purposeful, and spiritually rich. And as your priorities shift, the path before you will sharpen. You will no longer wonder what matters most. You will know. You will no longer chase everything. You will pursue only what aligns with my voice. This is how purpose gains momentum. Not through striving, but through clarity. Not through burnout, but through alignment. And in this alignment, you will step into a life that feels lighter, clearer, and far more connected to the destiny I created for you. My child, I am about to pour light onto your path in ways that will bring answers to questions you've carried for years, clarity to decisions you've postponed, and direction to places where you once felt stuck. I will reveal insights, instructions, and revelations that will illuminate your steps like sunrise after a long night. You have walked through seasons where you felt blindfolded, where you tried to make the right choice with limited understanding, where confusion made every road feel risky. You prayed for clarity but received silence, because the timing wasn't yet aligned, the season wasn't yet ripe, and you weren't yet ready to handle the revelation without misinterpreting it through fear or impatience. But now, the veil is thinning. The clouds are lifting. Your spirit is becoming sensitive enough, steady enough, mature enough to receive what I could not show you before. You will begin to experience flashes of understanding, moments where something suddenly clicks, where you see beneath the surface, where you understand the why behind past delays, the purpose behind past pain, the reason certain doors closed. I will highlight paths you once overlooked. I will show you solutions you never considered. You will receive sudden ideas, divine strategies, creative instructions, and spiritual impressions that carry weight beyond anything your own mind could produce. This is revelation, not random thought, not imagination, but my wisdom illuminating your direction. And this revelation will not come only during prayer or worship. It will come at unexpected moments, in conversations, in quiet mornings, while you work, while you rest, even in dreams. You will sense me connecting dots you didn't realize were related. You will understand lessons that once confused you. You will see patterns, meanings, and purpose woven into your past and your present. Every revelation will serve a role. Some will guide, some will warn, some will comfort, some will ignite your next step. Do not fear this illumination. It will not overwhelm you. It will empower you. The path that once felt foggy will start to feel navigable. The decisions that once paralyzed you will feel simpler as my insight cuts through the noise. Your confidence will rise, not because you know everything, but because you trust the one revealing what you need, when you need it. This is how I lead, not with floodlights that reveal every future detail, but with lamps that guide each step with precision. And as revelation increases, your faith will deepen, not as an idea, but as an experience of walking with me in continual guidance. My child, the transformation unfolding within you will birth a strength, a certainty, and a spiritual authority that you have never carried before. Not arrogance, not dominance, but the kind of authority that flows from knowing who you are, whose you are, and what I have placed within you. For too long, you lived beneath your spiritual inheritance, shrinking when you should have stood firm, yielding to fear when you carried power, assuming you were weak when heaven saw you as mighty. You allowed the enemy's lies to speak louder than your identity. You allowed insecurity to silence your voice. You allowed past wounds to convince you that authority belonged to stronger people, more spiritual people, more confident people. But now, I am awakening the authority that has always been yours but was buried under years of doubt. You will feel this authority rising subtly at first, moments where you refuse to entertain lies you used to believe, Moments where you speak truth boldly where you once stayed silent. Moments where you sense my strength flowing through your words, your decisions, your prayers. You will begin to carry yourself differently, not with ego, but with alignment. You will walk into situations knowing you are not powerless. You will pray with conviction instead of timid hope. You will command peace over your mind, strength over your heart, clarity over your decisions, and freedom over the areas where darkness once tried to linger. And as this authority grows, you will stop tolerating things that drain your spirit. You will reject mindsets that once controlled you. You will break cycles that once repeated themselves in your life. You will speak to storms and feel something shift inside you, not because the storm vanished instantly, but because you did not crumble beneath it. You will navigate conflict with wisdom instead of emotional chaos. You will steward your calling with confidence instead of hesitation. You will protect your peace with boundaries instead of fear. This authority is not merely for your survival, it is for your assignment. You are being prepared to influence, to strengthen others, to shift atmospheres, to carry light into dark places, to walk in confidence that is rooted not in pride, but in purpose. You will not walk as one who is unsure or intimidated. You will walk as one who carries heaven's affirmation within them. And when you step into this authority fully, nothing the enemy attempts will intimidate you again, because you will know, finally and deeply, that greater is the one within you than anything that stands against you. My child, hear me with the full weight of truth. Those fears that have followed you like shadows, the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of never being enough, the fear that your best will still fall short, are losing their grip on you, because I am stripping them of the authority they once held over your identity. You have lived under the heavy ache of these fears for years, sometimes silently, sometimes loudly. They have shaped decisions you didn't want to make, kept you in places you should have left, silenced you in moments you were meant to speak, and convinced you to hide parts of yourself I designed to shine. These fears whispered lies that sounded like truth because they spoke to your wounds, not your worth. They made you believe that rejection was your destiny, failure was inevitable, and inadequacy was woven into your DNA. But I am reaching into the deepest parts of you where these fears have rooted themselves, and I am pulling them out one by one, not to leave you empty, but to fill those places with courage, confidence, and truth. You will begin to notice the shift slowly at first. Situations that once triggered panic will now produce peace. Conversations you once avoided will now feel manageable. Opportunities you shrank from will begin calling your name. You will feel the quiet courage to try again, even in areas where disappointment once crushed you. This is not false boldness. It is the evidence that fear is losing its voice. You will hear fear speak, but you will no longer obey it. You will feel the old anxieties try to rise, but they will no longer dictate your choices. You will sense insecurity knocking at the door, but you will not open it, because the truth of who you are in me will be louder than the lies that once imprisoned you. This freedom is not coming because you are becoming stronger in your own power. It is coming because you are finally learning to anchor your identity in me rather than in outcomes, opinions, or past experiences. Rejection will no longer devastate you, because you will know it does not define you. Failure will no longer consume you, because you will see it as part of learning, not proof of inadequacy. And inadequacy will no longer paralyze you, because you will understand that your worth has never depended on your performance. It has always been rooted in my unchanging love. These fears once held your life hostage, but you are stepping into a season where they will fade like shadows exposed to morning light. You will rise, not because fear is gone, but because it no longer controls you. And as these fears lose their grip, you will discover strength, boldness, and confidence you didn't know existed inside you. because they were buried beneath the lies I am now breaking off you forever. My child, I am restoring to you the courage that life tried to take, the courage that was robbed by deep disappointments, unexpected losses, betrayals that cut deeper than words, seasons that drained you, and battles that left scars you tried to hide. There was a time when you were fearless, when you dreamed boldly, when you hoped without hesitation, when you stepped forward without second-guessing yourself. But life, with its complexities and heartbreaks, chipped away at that courage piece by piece. Every no, every closed door, every failure, every judgment, every painful moment whispered to your spirit, "Be smaller. Be quieter. Be safer. Don't risk again." So you began to shrink, not visibly but internally. You began to hesitate. You began to expect disappointment before it even reached you. You began to settle for less because your heart believed less was safer. But I am rebuilding your courage now, not the reckless kind, not the impulsive kind, but the kind rooted in deep spiritual knowing. The kind that rises from identity, not emotion. The kind that comes from trusting me, not from believing everything will always go your way. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward despite it. And I am restoring the decision-making power within you. You will feel bravery returning to your voice, strength returning to your steps, resilience returning to your heart. You will feel yourself standing taller inside, even before anything outside changes. This rebuilding process may feel unfamiliar, because courage doesn't usually return with fireworks. It returns in whispers. In moments where you say yes when fear tells you to say no. In moments where you choose love over withdrawal. In moments where you try again instead of giving up. In moments where you speak truth instead of remaining silent. These small acts of bravery will become the foundation of a powerful, renewed courage that will carry you into the next season of your life. I am restoring the courage to believe again, to hope again, to dream again, to love again, to trust again, to rise again. What life tried to take was not destroyed, only buried. And now I am unearthing it, breathing life into it, strengthening it, and anchoring it in truth. You are becoming courageous again, not because you ignore pain, but because you have learned that pain does not get the final say. I do. My child, the reason the future has felt frightening to you is not because the future is dark, it's because you were trying to walk into it without the assurance of who was leading you. But now, you will begin to trust the future, not because every detail is clear, but because you will finally understand, deeply and personally, that I am the one who holds it. For years, you feared what was ahead because your past taught you that surprises were painful, change was dangerous, and hope was risky. You braced yourself against tomorrow as if it were an enemy rather than a doorway. You tried to predict, control, and pre-plan every step so you wouldn't be blindsided again. Yet the more you tried to control the future, the more anxious it felt, because control was never meant to give you peace. Only trust could do that. And now, trust is rising. Not small, fragile trust, but steady trust. Trust that is built from seeing how I've carried you, how I've protected you, how I've redeemed your broken moments, how I've turned pain into wisdom, how I've guided you through seasons you thought would destroy you. This trust will begin to settle into you like sunrise after a long night. You will wake with peace instead of dread. You will step into new days without assuming the worst. You will stop waiting for everything to fall apart and begin expecting everything to come together in my timing. This does not mean the future will be without challenges, but it means challenges will no longer terrify you. You will approach tomorrow with stability because you know I walk ahead of you, beside you, and behind you. You will navigate uncertainty with confidence because you know my plans for you are good, intentional, and sovereign. You will look at unknown paths, and instead of asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" you will begin asking, "What if this is the beginning of something beautiful?" Trust transforms your posture. Trust unlocks courage. Trust brings rest. And soon, you will realize that trusting the future is really trusting me. And when you trust me, fear loses its voice. Worry loses its power. Anxiety loses its strength. Your future is not fragile, it is held. And as that truth settles into your spirit, everything ahead will feel different, not because the path changed, but because you did. My child, hear me with clarity. I am breaking the cycles in your life that once convinced you they were permanent, the patterns that repeated themselves so many times that you began to believe you were trapped in them forever. You have lived through emotional loops, relational repetitions, financial struggles, mental battles, spiritual setbacks, all circling back around just when you thought you were free. These cycles drained you, discouraged you, and weakened your hope. You blamed yourself, thinking you were the problem. You wondered if something inside you was broken, flawed, or incapable of change. But today I tell you, you were never the problem, the cycle was. And cycles do not break by striving, they break by revelation, healing, and my intervention. You are stepping into a season where these patterns will shatter one by one, not because you fight harder, but because I am pulling you out of the very soil they were planted in. You will begin to notice the break in subtle ways. Old triggers that once controlled your emotions will lose their power. Temptations that used to hook you will feel strangely empty. People who once stirred chaos in your life will no longer have access to your spirit. The internal habits that once felt impossible to change, your reactions, your fears, your coping mechanisms, will begin to shift without the battle you once anticipated. These changes are not the result of random growth. They are evidence that my hand is breaking generational patterns, emotional strongholds, and spiritual loops that tried to claim ownership over your future. And as these cycles break, your identity will strengthen. Shame will lift. Clarity will rise. You will stop expecting the worst simply because the worst happened before. You will stop bracing yourself for repeated pain. You will stop assuming that this is just who I am. No, this is who you were. The cycles shaped you, but they did not define you, and now they are losing their influence forever. You will feel your life shift direction, like a wheel finally jumping off a track it had been stuck on for years. You will move forward, not in circles, but in purpose. Not in repetition, but in renewal. Not in bondage, but in freedom. The patterns that once held you are collapsing. The cycle breaker has come for you. My child, for so long you have lived in emotional survival mode that you forgot what it feels like to truly breathe, to feel safe inside your own heart, to rest without fear, to experience peace without waiting for it to be interrupted. Survival mode taught you to numb instead of process, to endure instead of heal, to stay busy instead of feel, to shrink instead of trust. They train your heart to be on guard constantly, expecting danger, anticipating disappointment, scanning for pain even in calm moments. You learned to protect yourself in ways that helped you survive but prevented you from living fully. But hear me now. That season is ending. I am teaching your heart to breathe again. Not shallow, fearful breaths, but deep, peaceful ones that settle your emotions, steady your reactions, and restore your inner world. You will notice this shift as you feel emotions you once buried rising gently to be healed, not to torment you. You will experience moments where your body relaxes without your permission, where your chest feels lighter, where your spirit loosens its grip on constant tension. You will begin to unlearn the instinct to expect harm, to wait for betrayal, to anticipate loss. Your nervous system is being rewired by my peace. Your heart is being softened by my presence. Your emotions are being restored by my truth. I am teaching you to feel again, not in a way that overwhelms, but in a way that frees you. This transition out of survival mode may feel unfamiliar. You will question the calm because you're not used to it. You will doubt the peace because it feels too good. You will wonder when the chaos will return because chaos is what felt predictable. But sit with me through the discomfort of healing, because your heart is learning a new rhythm, one that flows with trust instead of fear, hope instead of dread, clarity instead of confusion. You will no longer live with your guard constantly raised. You will no longer walk through life bracing for impact. You will no longer believe that peace is temporary or fragile. You will breathe again, slowly, deeply, fully, not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because I am settling your heart into a state of safety that nothing in your past could give you. Survival was necessary then, but healing is necessary now. And I am the one teaching your heart how to live, not just endure. My child, let me speak to the part of you that grew hard, not because you wanted to be hardened, but because life taught you to protect yourself in ways your spirit was never designed to hold. Your heart became guarded after betrayal. It became numb after deep disappointment. It became cautious after trusting the wrong people. It became closed in places where love once flowed freely. You did not become hard out of pride. You became hard out of pain. Every wall you built was meant to shield you, but those same walls also kept goodness, healing, intimacy, and connection from reaching you. You have felt the weight of your own guardedness. You have known you were carrying it, but you didn't know how to release it. That is why I am stepping into those hardened places now, gently, intentionally, lovingly, to soften what life tried to harden. You may feel emotions surfacing that you pushed down long ago. You may feel tears forming in moments when you least expect them. You may feel compassion rising where anger once lived, tenderness returning where defensiveness had rooted itself. Do not resist these shifts. They are signs of healing, not weakness. A softened heart is not a vulnerable target. It is fertile ground. It is the place where joy grows, where love flows, where peace settles, where hope awakens. I am softening your heart not to make you fragile, but to make you whole. A hardened heart cannot experience life deeply. It cannot receive love fully. It cannot trust freely. It cannot hear me clearly. And you have longed for all these things without realizing that the barrier was not your unworthiness. It was your wounds. So I am healing the wounds, dissolving the barriers, melting the places that turned rigid so you could survive. You will begin to feel again, not in a way that overwhelms you, but in a way that restores you. You will forgive where forgiveness once felt impossible. You will reconnect where disconnection felt safer. You will allow yourself to hope again where hope once felt dangerous. You will love again, trust again, dream again, not because the world becomes safer, but because your heart becomes healed. And when a healed heart leads your life, everything feels different, not lighter because the world changed, but lighter because you did. My child, feel this deeply. I am clearing the fog that has hovered over your mind, the confusion that made you second-guess every decision, question your own voice, doubt your instincts, and hesitate even when the path was right before you. You have lived through stretches of life where clarity felt like a luxury, where every choice felt like a risk, where uncertainty wrapped around your thoughts so tightly that even simple decisions became exhausting. This confusion did not come from weakness. It came from wounds, from disappointment, from trying to avoid mistakes you once regretted, from old voices that criticized your every move, from seasons where you walked without guidance and learned to distrust your own discernment. But I am stepping into that mental fog now, sweeping it away with the breath of my truth, and restoring the clarity that was always meant to be your inheritance. You will begin to notice clarity rising inside you like light breaking through a heavy morning mist. Thoughts that once tangled you will begin to straighten. Questions that haunted you will begin to lose their urgency. You will find yourself making decisions with peace rather than panic. You will sense a quiet inner knowing, a steady, anchored conviction, even when circumstances remain uncertain. This is not you suddenly becoming smarter or more capable. This is me aligning your thoughts with truth, dissolving the lies that once clouded your judgment, and sharpening your spiritual hearing so you can recognize my guidance instantly. And as confusion lifts, confidence will rise, not arrogance, but assurance. You will trust your instincts because they will finally be in harmony with my spirit. You will no longer rehearse every what if or replay old mistakes as if they still define you. You will not be paralyzed by overthinking or trapped in cycles of doubt. Instead, you will walk forward with clarity that feels like fresh air, light, calm, liberating. You will realize that confusion was never a permanent state. It was a temporary fog that could not withstand my presence. And as the fog clears, the path before you will not only become visible, it will become purposeful. My child, listen closely, because this revelation will transform the way you see yourself and your life. I am teaching you how to recognize the difference between the voice of your trauma and the voice of my truth. Your trauma has spoken loudly over the years, in thoughts that told you you're unworthy, in memories that made you afraid to trust, in reactions that felt automatic, in beliefs that formed during moments of pain and settled into the fabric of your identity. Trauma taught you to expect abandonment, to anticipate disappointment, to mistrust good things, to believe that you needed to shrink to stay safe. Trauma shaped your interpretations, convincing you that warning signs were everywhere even when they weren't. But now, I am revealing to you that trauma is not truth. Trauma is a wound, and wounds distort how you see yourself, others, and me. As I heal you, you will begin to discern the difference. Trauma will say you're not enough, but truth will say you are chosen. Trauma will say everyone leaves, but truth will say I will never forsake you. Trauma will say you shouldn't try, you might fail, but truth will say you are capable because I strengthen you. Trauma will say you have to protect yourself, but truth will say I am your defender. Trauma will say don't trust, but truth will say you are safe with me. This distinction will become clearer with each passing day, and as it does, you will feel the weight lifting from your shoulders, the fear releasing from your chest, the lies losing their grip on your identity. Recognizing the difference between trauma and truth will not only heal you, it will transform you. You will respond differently, love differently, trust differently, hope differently. You will stop interpreting your present through the lens of your past. You will stop assuming danger in harmless situations. You will stop letting old wounds narrate your story. Instead, you will rise anchored in truth, my truth. Truth that does not waver, does not condemn, does not distort, does not deceive. And as my truth replaces trauma's voice, your entire life will begin to align with the freedom I always intended for you. My child, you are entering a season where spiritual maturity will rise within you in ways that will change everything: how you think, how you respond, how you choose, how you love, how you endure, how you perceive me, and how you understand yourself. Spiritual maturity is not stiffness, perfection, or religious performance. It is alignment. It is depth. It is awareness. It is the quiet strength that comes from knowing me personally rather than knowing about me. It is the steadiness that comes from walking with me instead of cycling through fear. It is the wisdom that flows when your spirit becomes attentive to my movements, my nudges, my corrections, my whispers. And you, my child, are stepping into that maturity, slowly, steadily, powerfully. You will notice your reactions changing first. Situations that once sent you spiraling will no longer shake you. You will pause instead of panic. You will breathe instead of break. You will pray instead of overthink. This is maturity. You will feel conviction, not shame, guiding you away from old patterns. You will sense when something is beneath your calling. You will walk away from what wounds you and walk toward what aligns with your purpose. This is maturity. You will choose relationships wisely. You will protect your peace with boundaries that honor your spirit. You will forgive, not because the hurt was small, but because your heart is now strong. This is maturity. You will feel your desires shifting too. Temporary pleasures will lose their power. Fleeting validation will no longer tempt you. Emotional habits that once ruled you will crumble as wisdom takes their place. You will crave depth, truth, authenticity, and presence, not noise, not chaos, not superficiality. This is maturity. And as you grow, you will discover that spiritual maturity is not about trying harder. It is about surrendering deeper. It is about allowing me to shape your inner world so thoroughly that the outer world no longer dictates your stability. This maturity will become the foundation for everything I am calling you into. It will steady your steps. It will calm your fears. It will anchor your identity. It will clarify your path. It will unlock the future I have prepared. You are not just changing, you are maturing. And this maturity will mark the beginning of a life lived with strength, wisdom, and unshakable purpose. My child, hear me now. I am giving you a level of grace in this season that will finally empower you to release what your heart could never let go of before, not by force, not by pressure, but by the gentle freedom that comes from healing, clarity, and truth. There are things you've held onto for years, relationships that were once meaningful but became heavy, memories that drained you, regrets that replayed in your mind, disappointments you rehearsed as if reliving them would protect you from future pain. You have clung to old versions of yourself because they were familiar, even when they kept you stagnant. You have held on to identities shaped by wounds because you feared who you might become without them. Letting go felt impossible, not because you lacked strength, but because you lacked the grace to release what was tied to your survival. But I am pouring that grace into you now. Grace that will loosen your grip without breaking your heart. Grace that will free you without leaving you empty. Grace that will help you let go not in bitterness, but in peace. You will begin to notice this grace in the way certain attachments feel lighter. People who once held emotional control over you will no longer have the same influence. Memories that once pierced you will begin to soften. Regrets that haunted you will lose their voice. You may even feel moments of unexpected relief, where your spirit exhales something it has carried far too long. This release is not you abandoning your past. It is you honoring your future. You are not losing pieces of yourself. You are shedding weights that were never meant to be permanent. Letting go does not mean you no longer care. It means you finally understand what is no longer meant to carry you forward. You will feel the grace to forgive where you once felt resentment, to walk away where you once felt stuck, to close chapters without fearing what's next. And as you release, you will feel me filling those spaces with peace, not the temporary, fragile peace you once chased, but a deep, holy peace that anchors your spirit and steadies your heart. This grace will help you let go of people, but also old versions of yourself, patterns that no longer serve you, beliefs that kept you small, narratives shaped by pain. I am making room in your life for what aligns with your calling. And release is not loss. Release is preparation. The things leaving your hands were never meant to carry the next chapter of your story. The grace I am giving you now is creating space for what is coming, a future freer than you imagined, lighter than you believed possible, and aligned in ways that will finally make sense to your heart. My child, understand this with reverence. I am shaping you into someone who no longer responds from old wounds, past traumas, or emotional triggers, but from a deep well of strength, wisdom, and spiritual maturity that I am cultivating within you. For too long, your reactions were shaped by the pain you carried, pain that made you defensive when you wanted to be open, fearful when you longed to be bold, guarded when you longed to trust, silent when you longed to speak. Your wounds became reflexes, shaping your responses automatically. And because these wounds were real, your reactions felt justified, even necessary. But now, I am healing the root of those wounds so fully, so powerfully, that you will no longer respond from the places where you were hurt. You will respond from the places where you have been made whole. You will notice this shift in your daily life. Conversations that once stirred insecurity will now bring clarity. Situations that once triggered emotional spirals will feel manageable. Words that once wounded you will lose their sting. You will pause before reacting, not in fear, but in wisdom. You will choose your words with strength instead of defensiveness. You will navigate conflict with calmness, not chaos. This transformation will not make you emotionless. It will make you anchored. You will still feel deeply, but you will respond wisely. And this shift will extend into your relationships. Where you once interpreted others through the lens of past hurt, you will begin to see them with compassion. Where you once assumed the worst, you will discern the truth. Where you once shut down to protect yourself, you will communicate with gentleness and clarity. Your healed responses will become a testimony to the work I am doing inside you. You will realize that strength does not mean hardness. It means stability. It means you are no longer controlled by what wounded you, but guided by what healed you. This transformation is necessary for where you're going. You are stepping into a future that requires emotional wisdom, spiritual stability, and relational maturity. You cannot carry old wounds into new opportunities, new relationships, new callings. So I am healing you deeply, not to erase your past, but to redeem it, so your responses reflect who you are becoming, not what you survived. You will rise from this season not as someone controlled by pain, but as someone led by purpose. My child, you may not see it yet, but I am calling forth the leader inside you, the one that has been hidden beneath insecurity, buried under doubt, and overshadowed by past experiences that convinced you that leadership was meant for others, not for you. But I placed leadership within your spirit long before you were aware of it. I planted influence in your voice, strength in your presence, wisdom in your discernment, compassion in your heart, and resilience in your story. Every trial you endured, every lesson you learned, every moment you rose when you could have fallen, has been shaping you into the leader I already saw within you. Leadership is not about titles or platforms. It is about capacity. And you, my child, have a capacity far greater than you have ever given yourself credit for. You lead when you choose truth over fear. You lead when you encourage others even when your own heart is tired. You lead when you stand firm in chaos. You lead when you walk with integrity in a world that rewards compromise. You lead when you speak life in places where silence used to dominate. And now, I am amplifying that leadership. I am expanding your influence, not to elevate your ego, but to elevate your purpose. You will feel this calling rise in unexpected moments. People will look to you for wisdom because they sense your clarity. They will come to you for comfort because they sense your compassion. They will trust your perspective because they feel your discernment. You will begin to notice that your words carry weight, your presence brings calm, your decisions create direction. This is not accidental. It is me revealing the leader that life tried to dim. You will speak with authority that surprises you. You will take steps of boldness that once terrified you. You will make choices with confidence that used to feel foreign. This is not you becoming someone new. It is you becoming who you were always created to be. Leadership will not make your life easier, but it will make your life meaningful. And you will not walk into this calling alone. I will empower you, guide you, correct you, and strengthen you. I am calling forth the leader inside you because the next season of your life requires a version of you that stands tall, speaks truth, loves boldly, and walks with unwavering purpose. You are ready, not because you feel ready, but because I have prepared you. And now, the leader within you is rising. My child, listen closely, because what I am doing inside you right now is stretching you, enlarging you, expanding you in ways that may feel uncomfortable. But this expansion is preparing you to carry far more purpose, wisdom, peace, influence, and responsibility than you ever imagined you could hold. You once believed you were fragile. You once assumed you could only handle so much before breaking. You once measured yourself by past seasons where you were overwhelmed, exhausted, and stretched beyond what you thought you could bear. But that was before healing began. That was before clarity entered. That was before strength awakened. And now, I am showing you that your capacity is far greater than your past ever allowed you to see. I am expanding your emotional capacity, teaching you to hold peace in the same places where anxiety once lived, teaching you to feel deeply without drowning, teaching you to love without losing yourself, teaching you to handle conflict without collapsing internally. I am expanding your mental capacity, strengthening your focus, sharpening your thinking, decluttering your mind so solutions appear where confusion once reigned. I am expanding your spiritual capacity, deepening your discernment, increasing your hunger for what is holy, strengthening your ability to hear my guidance even in the noise of life. And I am expanding your relational capacity, helping you receive love, set boundaries, forgive fully, and connect with others in ways that are healthy, mature, and sustainable. This expansion is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to prepare you. Because the life you are stepping into requires a version of you who can carry blessing without collapsing, influence without pride, responsibility without fear, and opportunity without self-sabotage. Expansion always stretches before it strengthens. You may feel the stretch right now, in your routines, your emotions, your responsibilities, your decisions. But trust this, I would not stretch you if I were not preparing you for more. And soon, you will look back and realize you can handle things with calmness that once sent you spiraling, handle responsibilities that once intimidated you, handle opportunities that once felt too heavy. You will live with a capacity born not from pressure, but from transformation. This is who you are becoming, a person who can carry more not because life demanded it, but because I equipped you for it. My child, feel this truth rising in your spirit. I am positioning you in this next season for opportunities you once convinced yourself were unrealistic, unavailable, undeserved, or simply for other people. For years, you looked at certain doors and assumed they were too high for you to reach, too big for you to handle, or too beautiful for your story. You admired them from a distance, but never imagined you could walk through them. Not because you lacked desire, but because you lacked belief. Past disappointments made you play small. Past failures made you overly cautious. Past rejection made you lower your expectations. But now, I am shifting your position, internally first, externally next, so you can finally step into opportunities that match the calling I placed inside you. This repositioning may feel subtle at first. Connections will form in unexpected places. Resources will find their way to you without force. People who once overlooked you will begin to notice your growth. Conversations will open doors. Alignments will form naturally. What once felt impossible will begin to feel reachable, not because the opportunity changed, but because you did. Your confidence is rising. Your discernment is sharpening. Your identity is strengthening. You are no longer approaching life as someone who is unworthy or unprepared. You are stepping into it as someone who is chosen and equipped. And the opportunities coming to you will not require you to compromise your values, betray your healing, or pretend to be someone you're not. These opportunities will align with your integrity, your growth, your purpose, and your spiritual maturity. They are not drabs or tests. They are gifts. They are answers to prayers you prayed with trembling hope. They are confirmations that your waiting was not wasted. They are signs that timing matters just as much as destiny. You will not have to chase these opportunities. They will meet you in the place you have grown into. You will not have to force them. They will flow toward you because they belong to your future. I am positioning you not by coincidence but by intention. And soon, you will step into opportunities that once felt out of reach and realize they were never out of reach. They were simply waiting for the version of you who is emerging right now. My child, hear this with deep understanding. I am strengthening your ability to stand alone when necessary, not so that you become isolated or hardened, but so that you can stand with confidence, dignity, and spiritual maturity even in seasons where support feels scarce or misunderstood. You have feared solitude in the past because loneliness used to echo loudly inside you. You associated standing alone with rejection, abandonment, or personal failure. You believed that if others didn't support you, something must be wrong with you. But now, I am transforming your relationship with solitude. I am making it a place of strength rather than sadness, clarity rather than confusion, empowerment rather than emptiness. You will begin to notice that you no longer panic when others pull away. You no longer crumble when support fluctuates. You no longer interpret distance as deficiency. Instead, you will recognize solitude as sacred space, where your discernment sharpens, your purpose becomes clearer, your emotions stabilize, and your spiritual roots grow deeper. Standing alone will not feel like being abandoned. It will feel like being established. And this strength will not harden your heart. It will free it. Because you will no longer cling to relationships out of fear. You will no longer adjust your identity to keep people close. You will no longer tolerate harmful connections just to avoid feeling alone. This kind of strength allows you to love freely without losing yourself, to give generously without becoming dependent, to connect deeply without compromising your peace. There will be moments in your next chapter where I call you into decisions others won't understand at first. There will be steps you take that require faith more than approval. There will be seasons of transition where your path shifts before your circle does. In those moments, you will stand, not trembling, not questioning your worth, not begging for validation, but steady, anchored, whole. You will know that my presence makes solitude safe, my voice makes direction clear, and my strength makes standing alone possible. And when relationships, support, and community come, and they will come, you will receive them not from desperation, but from wholeness. Because you have learned that you can stand alone without being lonely, and from that strength, you will form connections that are healthier, deeper, and far more aligned with your destiny than anything you've known before. My child, listen closely, because this transformation I am working within you is shaping the kind of integrity that does not depend on applause, recognition, or validation. I am teaching you to walk in truth even when no one sees, no one notices, and no one praises you. There have been seasons in your life where you felt unseen, where you wondered if your efforts mattered, where your quiet sacrifices went unacknowledged, where your goodness seemed overlooked while others were elevated for far less. Those moments made you question whether integrity was worth it, whether righteousness made any difference, whether living with honesty, humility, and purity was even recognized by anyone at all. But hear me, every unseen decision had been seen by me. Every quiet act of kindness, every choice to do what was right instead of what was easy, every moment you resisted bitterness or revenge, every time you chose character over convenience, I witnessed it all. And now, I am strengthening this integrity in you, because the next season of your life will require a foundation that cannot be shaken by pressure, temptation, or opportunity. I am shaping a version of you who remains the same in private as in public, who is consistent whether people honor you or misunderstand you, who refuses to compromise values for temporary gain. This kind of integrity will bring a peace to your spirit that you have longed for without even knowing it. You will feel alignment inside yourself. No more inner conflict. No more battling between what you know is right and what feels easier in the moment. No more guilt whispering after unwise choices. You will walk with a clean heart because truth will become your natural response, not your forced decision. As I teach you this deeper integrity, you will feel conviction, not condemnation, guiding your steps. You will sense when something does not align with who you are becoming. You will feel discomfort when you're tempted to say or do something that contradicts your growth. This is not me punishing you, it is me protecting you. Integrity preserves you from emotional chaos, relational wounds, spiritual compromise, and unnecessary consequences. Integrity is freedom. Integrity is clarity. Integrity is protection. And integrity is elevation. You will soon discover that the doors I open for you will require this level of inner strength. Opportunities with influence require character. Blessings with responsibility require wisdom. Relationships built for longevity require honesty. And I am preparing you for all of it. You will walk in integrity not because you fear punishment, but because you value peace. Not because you want recognition, but because you want alignment. Not because you seek perfection, but because you seek authenticity. I am teaching you integrity that is unshakable, unchanging, and unmovable, and this integrity will become the foundation on which every future blessing safely rests. My child, hear me with the fullness of your spirit. I am preparing you to walk confidently and thrive in environments that once intimidated you, overwhelmed you, or made you feel unqualified, unseen, or out of place. There are spaces you once avoided because you assumed you weren't ready, weren't capable, weren't educated enough, equipped enough, experienced enough, or worthy enough. You compared yourself to others who seemed more polished, more confident, more connected, more fit for the role. You told yourself, "That's not for me," not because I said it wasn't, but because fear convinced you it was safer to stay small. But now, I am shifting everything about how you see yourself and what you believe you are capable of. You will no longer approach new environments with hesitation. You will walk into them with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they were placed there by divine intention. I am equipping you in ways you cannot yet see. Skills are developing beneath the surface. Wisdom is forming through every trial you've endured. Strength is being built through every difficulty you've overcome. Your story has shaped resilience that others only dream of possessing. Your discernment has sharpened through seasons where you had no one to depend on but me. Your character has deepened through internal battles no one else knew you were fighting. All of this was preparation, not punishment. Every step of your past has been training ground for the future you are about to walk into. And when you enter these environments, whether they are new professional spaces, new relational dynamics, new leadership roles, new opportunities, you will discover something profound. You belong there. Not through pride, but through purpose. Not through entitlement, but through calling. You will find that what once intimidated you now excites you. What once overwhelmed you now fuels you. What once seemed impossible now feels aligned. I will give you words when you need them. I will give you confidence when you step forward. I will give you insight when decisions arise. I will give you favor in the eyes of those assigned to help you. You will not shrink back, you will rise. These environments will no longer expose your insecurities. They will reveal your preparation. You will thrive because you are not entering them alone. You are entering them with wisdom, maturity, identity, and strength formed in the secret places of your life. What once felt too big will now feel like destiny. You will not step into these spaces as someone pretending to belong. You will step in as someone who was always meant to be there. My child, listen to me carefully. I am awakening a confidence in you that will not come from achievements, appearance, approval, or any form of performance, but from a deep, unshakable understanding of your identity, your worth, and your place in the world. For years, you tried to build confidence through external means, working harder, doing more, being stronger, pleasing people, hiding your weaknesses, perfecting your image, outperforming your insecurities. But confidence built on performance crumbles under pressure. It rises when you succeed and collapses when you fail. It inflates when people praise you and deflates when people criticize you. It is exhausting, unstable, and fragile. That is why I am awakening a different kind of confidence within you, the kind rooted in identity. This identity-based confidence is not loud or arrogant. It is quiet, steady, unmovable. It is the confidence of someone who knows they belong, even when others doubt them. Someone who stands firm even when outcomes are uncertain. Someone who sees themselves through the lens of truth rather than through the distorted lens of fear. You will begin to sense this shift inside you in ways that will surprise you. You will walk differently, not with ego, but with assurance. You will speak differently, not with fear of judgment, but with clarity. You will think differently, not rehearsing your flaws, but recognizing your growth. You will make decisions differently, not from fear of failure, but from alignment with purpose. And this confidence will change how you handle relationships too. You will stop seeking validation from those who cannot give it. You will stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You will stop over-explaining yourself to people determined to misunderstand you. You will stop apologizing for your growth, your calling, your boundaries, your presence. You will stop trying to prove your worth. You will simply live it. Because you will finally understand that your worth was never up for negotiation. It was never based on performance. It was never determined by circumstances. It was never dependent on others' approval. It has always been rooted in who you are. This confidence will be one of the greatest transformations of your life. It will not make you prideful, it will make you free. And when you walk in identity-based confidence, everything about your life shifts. Your posture, your choices, your relationships, your resilience, your boundaries, your voice. This is the confidence that cannot be taken from you, because it was never built on anything that could be shaken. It is built on truth, truth awakening in you now. My child, hear me with the depth of your spirit. Your peace is no longer something you will lose easily, surrender quickly, or treat carelessly. I am teaching you to guard it as the sacred treasure it is, a treasure that will shape your decisions, your boundaries, your relationships, and the atmosphere within your soul. For too long, you allowed your peace to be stolen by people who did not value it, disturbed by circumstances that did not deserve it, and shaken by worries that held no true power over your life. You lived in constant negotiation with stress, trying to protect your mind while simultaneously absorbing the chaos around you. Peace felt fragile, like something that came and went depending on the mood of the day or the behavior of others. But the peace I am giving you in this season is different. It is fortified. It is anchored. It is spiritual, not emotional. It is rooted in truth, not circumstance. You will begin to notice that your spirit reacts differently now. Conversations that once drained you will no longer have access to your inner world. Distractions that once pulled you into anxiety will no longer find a grip. People who come with chaos will feel like they're entering a place they cannot disturb. You will sense quickly when something is trying to invade your peace, whether through guilt, manipulation, negativity, or pressure, and you will step back with wisdom rather than guilt. This is not you becoming cold, it is you becoming clear, because you finally understand that your peace is not optional, it is essential. And as you learn to guard it, your boundaries will strengthen. You will say no without apologizing. You will say yes with intention. You will walk away from conversations that dishonor your spirit. You will distance yourself from dynamics that drain you. You will silence the voices that speak fear, comparison, and confusion. You will prioritize environments that nourish your soul, not just occupy your time. This is not selfishness. It is stewardship. I am teaching you that guarding your peace is guarding your purpose. Peace allows you to hear me clearly, think wisely, love deeply, and live freely. Without peace, everything becomes foggy. Your peace will become your filter. If it costs your peace, you will recognize that it is too expensive for your destiny. And soon, you will find yourself moving through life differently, not reacting impulsively, not absorbing everything you encounter, not allowing emotions to govern you. You will live with a steady heart, a calm mind, and a grounded spirit. The peace I am placing inside you is not delicate, it is powerful. And once you learn to guard it, everything else in your life will begin to stabilize around it. My child, I am doing something gentle yet powerful inside you. I am awakening your ability to love freely, deeply, and wholeheartedly, without losing yourself, without abandoning your needs, and without sacrificing your identity in the process. You have loved before, yes, but often from a place of fear, craving, insecurity, or past wounds. You have poured yourself into people who did not pour back. You have carried emotional weight that was never meant to be yours. You have mistaken overextending for affection and self-abandonment for loyalty. And because of that, relationships often drained you more than they nourished you. But now, I am teaching you a new kind of love, a love rooted in strength, wisdom, and self-respect. You will begin to feel this shift in small ways. You will recognize when your giving becomes unhealthy. You will notice when you start shrinking to keep peace. You will sense when your heart begins to carry emotions that don't belong to you. Instead of ignoring these signals, you will honor them. You will learn to love without absorbing, support without losing yourself, care without carrying burdens that crush your spirit. You will love from fullness, not depletion, from identity, not insecurity, from wisdom, not desperation. This transformation will not make your love smaller. It will make it purer. The people in your life will feel a healthier, steadier version of your heart. You will love with clarity instead of confusion, with boundaries instead of guilt, with honesty instead of silence. And as you grow in this kind of love, your relationships will shift. Some will deepen beautifully because they were always meant for your healed heart. Others will naturally fade because they were sustained by your wounds rather than your wholeness. Do not fear these changes. They are evidence of growth. You will no longer fear love because you will no longer fear losing yourself in it. And you will no longer confuse self-protection with isolation. Your heart will be open, but guarded by wisdom, not walls. This is love as it was intended, steady, balanced, rooted, and joyful. You will love freely because you are no longer loving from emptiness. You are learning to love from a healed, whole version of yourself, and that version of you is emerging now. My child, one of the deepest transformations I am bringing into your life is this. I am healing the way you see yourself, because distorted vision has kept you living beneath your destiny for far too long. You have looked at yourself through the lens of old wounds, past mistakes, others' opinions, and seasons of brokenness. You believed narratives that were never yours to carry. You compared yourself to people who were never meant to be your standard. You judged yourself harshly for moments you were simply surviving. And because you saw yourself as less, you accepted less. You asked for less. You lived for less. But now, I am removing every false reflection, every lie, every limitation, every shadow that has clouded your identity. You will begin to see yourself differently, not in pride, but in truth. You will notice your strength where you once only noticed your weaknesses. You will recognize your growth where you once saw only failure. You will honor your resilience where you once shamed your scars. You will understand that your sensitivity is not a flaw, but a gift. Your compassion is not a weakness, but a calling. Your story is not a burden, but a testimony waiting to unfold. You will look at yourself without the harshness that once dominated your inner dialogue. This healing of identity will influence everything. Your decisions will become bolder because you finally believe you are capable. Your boundaries will become stronger because you finally believe you are worthy. Your relationships will become healthier because you finally know you deserve respect. Your dreams will expand because you finally see yourself as someone who can carry them. Identity shapes destiny, and now that your identity is being restored, your destiny will begin to align. And this healing will not be superficial. It will reach into the deepest layers of your psyche, rewiring how you speak to yourself, how you think about yourself, how you treat yourself, how you show up in the world. You will no longer diminish yourself to be accepted. You will no longer apologize for being who you are. You will no longer reject your own gifts out of fear. You will step into who you truly are, not the version shaped by pain, but the version shaped by truth. This is identity awakening. This is the unveiling of the real you. And once you see yourself clearly, you will never live small again. My child, listen closely, because this final movement of transformation is upon you, and it will be unlike anything you have ever experienced. I am preparing you for a life that finally reflects who you have become, not who you used to be. For too long, your life has been arranged around old identities, past wounds, outdated versions of yourself, and patterns that belong to a you that no longer exists. You lived with routines shaped by survival, relationships shaped by insecurity, decisions shaped by fear, and dreams confined by the limits of who you once thought you were. Even as you grew, healed, and evolved, parts of your life remained stuck in earlier seasons, as if your external world did not yet mirror your internal transformation. But now, I am shifting everything around you so that your life aligns with your new strength, your new clarity, your new confidence, your new peace, your new maturity, and your new identity. This alignment will feel like a holy rearranging. Doors that once stayed open will close, not as punishment, but as release. Doors that were once locked will open, not by force, but by favor. Relationships will shift into rightful places, some deepening, some fading, some emerging with divine timing. Opportunities that once passed you by will now return with new purpose. Habits that once drained you will break off naturally because they no longer fit the person you are becoming. You will sense a divine momentum pulling you forward, urging you to leave behind what no longer mirrors your inner growth. And as this alignment unfolds, you will feel both the beauty and the weight of it. It will feel like stepping into a room built just for you, spacious, bright, and aligned with your calling. You will look around your life and feel, perhaps for the first time, a sense of deep congruence between who you are inside and the life you are living outside. No more shrinking to fit small spaces. No more living beneath your potential. No more adjusting yourself to match environments that cannot hold your growth. You are stepping into a life designed for the healed, whole, purposeful version of you. This is not a small transition. It is a sacred unveiling. I am not simply improving your life. I am matching it to the person I have shaped you to be. What's coming will not only change everything around you, it will confirm everything I have been changing within you. My child, feel this calling rising in your spirit. I am positioning you to walk boldly, unapologetically, and confidently into the purpose that has been waiting for you, the purpose you were created for, the purpose you once doubted you were worthy of. All the healing, all the stretching, all the breaking of cycles, all the renewal of your mind, all the strengthening of your identity has brought you to this exact moment. In the past, you held back not because you lacked purpose, but because you lacked belief. You deferred your calling because you didn't trust your voice. You delayed your dreams because you feared failure. You silenced your gifts because you thought others were more qualified. You hesitated because wounds whispered louder than destiny. But now your season of hesitation is ending. I am placing a holy boldness inside you, the kind that rises not from pride but from certainty. You will walk into spaces you once feared entering. You will take steps that once felt impossible. You will speak words that once felt too heavy to carry. You will make decisions that once terrified you. You will rise, not timidly, but fully, because you finally understand that your calling is not a random assignment. It is the expression of everything I placed inside you before you even took your first breath. And as you step forward, you will feel me with you. Not behind you pushing, not above you judging, but beside you, empowering every step. You will not walk in fear, because fear no longer owns your future. You will not walk in apology, because you no longer see your gifts as burdens. You will not walk in hesitation, because clarity has replaced confusion. This boldness will not evaporate when challenges arise. It will strengthen. It will anchor you. It will remind you that you are no longer living as the person you were, but as the person you have been becoming through every season of transformation. You are stepping into your calling without shrinking, without doubting, without waiting for someone else's permission. Your time of standing on the sidelines is over. Now you walk boldly into purpose, because you finally understand it was crafted for you, and you for it. My child, hear this with the deepest part of your heart. Everything you have walked through, everything you have healed from, everything you have released, everything you have grown into has been preparing you for this final unveiling. You will now become the person your spirit has always known you could be. There has always been a version of you, stronger, wiser, freer, more grounded, more courageous, more secure, more aligned, more radiant, waiting to emerge. You caught glimpses of this version in moments of clarity, in moments of courage, in moments where you rose above what tried to break you. But life's pain, fear, trauma, confusion, and limitations kept dimming that version of you. You felt it inside, but you couldn't live it fully. You sensed it rising, but you couldn't hold on to it. You glimpsed it, but you couldn't step into it. Until now. This moment, this chapter, is where your spirit and your life finally meet, where your identity and your actions align, where your healed heart shapes your choices, where your renewed mind directs your steps, where your strengthened spirit anchors your decisions. You are stepping into alignment with the person I always saw in you, the person who survived what should have destroyed them, the person who grew in seasons meant to break them, the person who chose healing instead of bitterness, the person who kept moving even when they felt empty. And as this true version of you emerges, everything will feel different. Not because the world changes, but because you change your relationship to it. You will walk with confidence that does not waver. You will love with maturity that does not collapse. You will trust with discernment that does not fail you. You will hope with resilience that does not break. You will speak with clarity, move with purpose, and live with a presence that reflects everything I've poured into you. This version of you is not coming. It is here. It is rising. It is taking its rightful place. What's coming will change everything about you. Yes, but not because it forces change from the outside. It changes everything because it reveals, finally, the masterpiece I have been forming inside you your entire life. Amen.